Post live.
We're
What
live now.
is this? Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Trophy Room pre-show. I am your host, Joseph, alongside me, greatest co-host, whoever will be, Mr. Kyle Stevenson. And what we're looking here at right now is Guess the Game. This is our little pre-show before the real show, where we are guessing this game. And this looks
This
like...
game.
This looks like...
What does this look like?
Premiere in the early 90s.
Is Mavis Beacon on here typing?
Ooh.
So can it right out of the gate says Opus Magnum. So let's go.
Opus Okay. What up, Sean McKenzie? What up? And I need to put out the tweet.
Fucking still can it. Jesus
Still
Christ.
can it.
What's up, everybody?
With respect, there's some fuckery afoot. You picked that out. First game in.
Actually, let's go back. Because I don't even know. Is this the full game? Oh, it opens up a little bit more. Okay. 2017? I would not have guessed that from that initial.
What is that?
Some sort of tile thing.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
All right.
I got a tweet.
Okay. Open world
We'll
map.
be back, bro.
Or I'm assuming open world map. Got a...
Let me enhance.
Oh, that is a cool feature, still can it?
What's that?
You can make GIFs of your solution to the puzzle in that other game.
Oh,
That's kind of fun. I like that.
Good on me, bitch. Let's do Dead Island 2. But that looks a little familiar, so it may be an Ubisoft game.
I'm leaning more Ubi.
Yeah.
Just because
You
I
think
feel like
maybe
we're
Assassin's
too
Creed?
I feel like we're too high up in the air for Dead Island.
True. Okay, that's true. So
Let's
you want
go-
to do Odyssey?
You think Assassin's Creed Odyssey?
The best one, yeah.
No. This looks like Far Cry 5 United States to me.
Oh, okay. All right.
Nope, we're in the right franchise though.
Oh, what's the one where it's like post-apocalyptic?
New Dawn?
New Dawn. There you go. Yeah.
Which I didn't hate the little I played.
Oh, really?
Oh, okay, so this is 4 then.
Huh, okay.
Far Cry 4, I love it. It's real good. Not as good as 3, but it's pretty good.
You know what? I'm just gonna start a new one.
Pagan Min, Troy Baker.
Yeah.
Not bad.
One second. You keep talking. I gotta get this microphone out of my way.
Sure. Ooh. Got old school game. I'm assuming adventure. I don't have it right now. So Ken says Monkey Island. That's not a bad guess. Let's just do OG Monkey Island and see where we're at. If we're in like the right franchise. We are in the right franchise. It is a Monkey Island game. I did the secret of Monkey Island because I wasn't sure which one it was. So if it's not secret, then it's Tails. And it's not Tails. So then it's Curse. It's not Curse. I'm running out of Monkey Island games. Return? It's not Return. Jesus. I have Escape left. I've got Monkey Island 2 left. Let's go Escape.
Question. I got on this tweet. Let's chat. PlayStation State of Play predictions. Is Horizon Zero Dawn remastered overkill? What's the third and final thing that you think is gonna get people's butts in seats? Is it Square Enix is never happy ever? I think I answered my own question.
Yeah, it's funny. All right, I'm gonna go Monkey Island 2, Mackenzie. There it is. Good. I think that was the last one I had left to guess. I've never played a Monkey Island game. I should. Just never happened. Okay. This one. What's going on down here? Right off the gate, I want to say Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
Ooh, or Metro.
Oh, it could be Metro. I'm trying to think, like, down here. Is that
Lighting.
a gun? Is that like
The
a
lighting.
hand or something?
Do your guess first. Do your guess first. Don't let me be, my bullish ways.
Maybe it's not Assassin's Creed Syndicate. It's not.
Is that?
No.
Uh,
Whoa, this looks a lot older. I don't think it's near. So can it's a sunless sky.
well, that's a lot of sun right there.
Or sunless
But
sea.
fine.
Gee,
Let's
still canon.
chat.
What a...
This.
Sunless skies. I have never heard of this game. Wow. What up, Nicholas Johnson? Nicholas says, Kyle, are you excited for the showcase tomorrow? I'm incredibly nervous.
Are you nervous like something screwed up?
Yeah. I really hope everything is perfect and ready to go. And
like honestly, you've been doing so much, man. You and Mike, the whole crew. You've been just doing God's work.
It's really cool. I'm going to be at IGN tomorrow. IGN YouTube. That's where they're showing the stream. So
look at that. Oh, so it's not on the 6-1
it is
channel,
but they're
but
co-streaming
it's
it.
the main thing. Okay. Oh, love that for you, bud.
So I'm excited. I'm excited for people to see all the games because it's a really good lineup.
Yeah.
Can
Can I tease Silk Song?
No, you cannot.
It's in there, guys. They told me not to say it because it's a big surprise, but it is in there.
And it's not a spoiler at all because they tweeted about it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you actually go to the IGN version of the showcase and look at the comments, there's already like 20 comments in there, and they're waiting for Rain World. Because spoiler alert, Rain World will be a part of the show in some way, shape, or form.
Nice. Look at you. Look at you. Kyle, I have the tweet up if you'd like to retweet it. This is...
I feel like I know these blue and red bars. Those are health bars, somewhat. Did Multiverses have that over the characters as you're fighting?
That's a good one. Let's do Multiverses. That's a good guess.
Let me retweet the tweet.
Okay.
Phoenix, I have not played Plucky Squire yet because I had to cancel my PS Plus subscription, and I have exactly $9.72 until next week.
He saved his money.
I got really, really up. How fucking dare you? I got really sad because last night I hopped on to play some MLB The Show just to like unwind.
Yeah. Can't
do that because I need a PS Plus subscription to play online.
Oh, hot damn.
Haven't run into that in years.
Yeah, you want me to toss you a tenner?
No. A tenner? That won't even get me a month.
Is it $10 in British money?
Where do you think I live?
We both are on islands, you know? It's gotta be better,
I'm still very excited, even though you're going to hear
Oh, Jake Thomas, don't worry. We're about to get into it.
We're
about
not
to get into the real show.
Oh, wait.
Perfect.
Is that Sly's Kane?
It's just Sly Cooper. But what's Sly game? Whatever.
What?
Let's do Sly Cooper.
Thieves in Time?
All right, let's do Thieves in Time.
No. PC.
On PC.
What
is
hell?
this? What is this? I need a pop-out chat. There you go. Hoo-wee.
Yeah, still can it, right? I feel like these bars on
Almost
the right...
done setting up.
Gunfire Reborn? All right, let's go for it.
All right, let's do it.
You haven't led us astray yet tonight. So
shit.
There it is. Nice.
I'm not going to ask if SoCan's cheating. Because
There's no way. There's no way.
It would break my heart. if I
Silken
found out
is
that
a human of culture and
a great man.
appreciation. Tommy with the $4.99 super chat.
Oh, what up,
Just because I get to catch this live, also watching Shrinking on Apple TV. Hey, appreciate you, Tommy.
Tommy? Look at you making all the best decisions. Thank you for the $4. Also, Shrinking on Apple TV. Probably their second best show.
Mm.
I like that. Shrinking is
Oh my God.
fantastic. It's coming back in a few weeks.
Wait a second.
What's this? Oop,
Agatha's
WandaVision.
first episode is today.
Yep. And
Oh, I get to
Penguin
watch.
this week.
Who? What?
The Penguin?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I know that building.
What is this building?
I know that building.
You tell me, bruh. You tell me.
Is this the Rise of the Ronin?
Ooh.
Nope.
85. Is this
A
a
lot of arrows.
Wulong? Is this a lot? Is this Wulong?
You played Wulong.
No, like the one last year.
Yeah, Wulong or Wulong.
Yeah.
Really?
Type that in. Yeah, give it a go. Why not?
Did I misspell it? It's a
Probably.
Nope, there it is.
There you go. Fallen Dynasty.
nope. PC.
Okay, so this is a Total War game.
Okay. I don't
Total
hate
War.
it. I don't hate it. Nisa, I
Warhammer.
didn't look through the whole doc. I don't know if Joe put in the Palworld thing in there. I don't know.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Nisa
isn't-
did that.
Nisa just mentioned, are we going to talk about it? I didn't even hear about it. So
It is Total War, but like put it in.
I put in Empire. It's not Empire.
No, but it has to be like Japan.
That's what I think, right? Three Kingdoms.
Yeah, that makes sense. Right? Because wasn't there?
Yeah, Three Kingdoms. There we go. A
What do you mean?
genre
I fucking know my history.
I just don't play.
I tried because I love history stuff, and it's a little bit too far down the rabbit
All right,
hole.
last one.
Okay.
All right.
Last one. Then we're getting into the real show, folks.
Is this not
Buckle
just
up.
old school Grand Theft Auto?
See.
Let's go 2. Ooh, I was close. We got the yellow, meaning we're in the right franchise. It's the first one.
Dude, you're real good at this.
Some people forget that the first GTA was top down like this. I got this game after I played 3 on PS2.
Yeah.
And I was infinitely disappointed. Because I had zero idea this is what this game was. And it handled like crap.
Are you ready?
Oh, I guess so.
Shake your legs, Kyle. I'm
No.
standing this episode. That's how spicy I'm gonna be.
Oh, Strubles and Chuck says, "Hey guys, it's Uncle Ernie from Square Enix. Final Fantasy VII 3 should hit 180 million sold in the first weekend. That is awesome.
Love it. Love it.
I mean, yeah, they should. Oh, look, you get to see the doc a little bit.
There you
So
go.
sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kyle, what did you put in this about someone eating dogs?
They just read it. It was on there for like 20 seconds. All right, ready?
I'm ready, brother.
All right, chat. We'll see you in exactly 16 seconds.
Oh, wait, no longer greatness has arrived. Welcome to episode 394 of The Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players. I'm your host, Joseph, aka Mr. Badbit, and it is here where me and my best friend Kyle talk about the latest, the greatest in all things PlayStation. Of course, this week, we chat about PS Pro expert analysis and conducting AMD for hardware. Horizon Remaster is real. The State of Play is returning next week, and so much more as we do it live each and every single Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on youtube.com/PS Trophy Room, and the audio services the very next day after. Alongside me, the greatest co-host whoever is, whoever will be, Mr. Kyle Stevenson. I heard you slept like a baby. How are you, my friend?
I specifically told you I did not want to air this
Here
out
we go.
on the main show.
Here we go.
I specifically told you this.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Why would you do that? Why would you like to
We promised the
chaos?
folks a spicy show this week.
Oh, I was gonna
Put
get
it out there.
spicy throughout the whole show because I've
Yeah.
just had it. I've fucking had it.
Right.
This week.
I feel you.
Everyone's just annoying the crap out of me.
I also feel you there, my friend. But I'm sorry. I'm sorry I kept you up by accident. I didn't mean
Listen
that.
here. Listen. Okay, now you did it.
Yep.
Now you did
Here we
it.
go. Yeah, let's go.
I swear to God.
Yeah.
If I get woken up again with this was at midnight last night. I was a long day. Work's been crazy. I lay down, put my head down, put my little CPAP machine on. I'm comfortable. I'm excited to rest. I get an extra hour of sleep because I worked late yesterday, and I get an extra hour. Don't gotta log on until 10 a.m. What happens the moment I get into that part where you're super comfortable and like you sink in the mattress and your head is like perfect? In a pitch dark room, my phone starts blowing up. Why? Because Joe and our nerd chat friends decide to have an argument over stupid fanboy PlayStation versus Xbox exclusive garbage. How fucking dare all of you? Why are we stupid to this fanboy argument? And who counts headphones as hardware?
Apparently they do.
What are we doing?
I don't know. Also, what's a second? Like, realistically, this is my one pet peeve. This is where I get peeved. When we say second party as like this, like weird, like we're like dividing a line of like, it's not technically first party, but it is exclusive. And it's like, all second party is like a term that we invented to help distinguish from a company that Sony owns or Xbox owns or Nintendo owns to a company that they don't and that they're partnering with.
Yeah.
Like that's all that second party means. So when I hear people go like, oh, well, you know, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, not technically, you know, it's not technically a PlayStation game. It doesn't really count this year because it's a Square Enix game. It's like, yeah, but exclusively on where? Like Stellar Blade, exclusively on where? Rise of Ronin, exclusively on where? Like who signed the deal? You know, and depending on who you are, Wulong, like who penned that deal? You know, it's just, it's a really dumb definition that.
I mean, would we talk about Xenoblade? Are we not going to say that's a Switch exclusive?
Exactly.
Nintendo doesn't own that company.
How many companies that Nintendo actually just partners with and doesn't actually own is astounding. So like I think the most popular one, Super Smash Brothers. Is that not a first party? It's their IP. Bandai Namco helps make that with with Hall Labs.
I don't
so
know.
It's like yeah.
I don't know.
So it's like it's not even so when we do the weird dividing lines, it's just really stupid, and that's where like dives into the console war malarkey, and I don't want to.
If I didn't have to use my cell phone for my alarm in the morning, I would have thrown my phone across the room.
That's fair enough. You got it.
And now I've learned my lesson. Right? I've silenced everything.
Yeah, you got to silence. I thought that's what you already did.
No, I just ignore it most of the time because it's during the day.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Well, listen, Kyle. Listen, that wasn't the starter question. I'm sorry I kept you up, bud. Actually, no, I don't apologize. It's our group chat that we're being kids. Here's the real starter question.
Sure.
I take no responsibility. Here's the real starter question, Kyle, okay?
Sure.
I want to get our thinking caps on. I've been in a Linkin Park mood for obvious reasons. I'm going to just say it. I'm just going to say it. I like the new song. I like the new singer.
I love the new song.
Yeah, fight me. I don't care. All right. Here's the truest question.
I love the new lead singer's other band, Dead Sarah. They are fantastic. I've been
Yeah,
listening to them for years.
yeah. But here's my question for you, Kyle, because I've been listening to the whole discography.
Mm-hmm.
The one debate that always rages on:
Mm-hmm.
hybrid theory
Mm-hmm.
or Meteora.
What are we doing?
Which one? Which one are we doing here?
It's hybrid theory.
Is it really, you think?
1,000,000%.
Oh, okay. Why do you think
I
so?
love both. They're 1A, 1B.
Yeah.
It's hybrid theory.
Yes. Yeah.
One step closer in the end. Numb.
Ooh.
Crawling.
Oh. Oh.
What are we doing?
But like, what is it? Like Faint is
Faint is great. One my favorite on Meteora for sure.
Yeah, it's my. I think it is my favorite Linkin Park like song. But
I think
I do agree.
That one I'm less familiar with the names of the tracks. Like I know the songs. Is Hit the Floor another one? That's not a bad one.
Yep, Points of Authority. Which I hate the name of Points of Authority, but I like it. And can I just say something very controversial?
Sure.
But Brave, Minutes to Midnight, it gets a lot of disrespect, but it's also a great album. Like, it's no Meteora, but it's a great album.
Bleed It Out, baby?
Oh my God, what are we doing here? It's Bleed. Oh my God. And that's also like, that's an S tier Linkin Park song, you know?
Oh.
And I think that's what's going to be our Patreon episode tonight is we're going to find a tier ranking. We're going to rank the best Linkin Park songs in order. Yeah. I think it's what we have to do.
I'm looking up the whole track list of Hybrid Theory just so I don't forget one. Mm-hmm. But you're going to tell me that an album that has Paper Cut, One Step Closer, Crawling, Runaway, In the End, A Place for My Head,
oh my God,
Forgotten, Cure for the Itch, and Pushing Me Away?
Come on.
What are we doing?
Pushing Me Away is not that great, but yeah, like everything else there,
no skips. Nope. No skips.
Yeah. It's like the Killer's Hot Fuzz album. You don't skip a goddamn single
Once
song.
I figured out that album is based around him in a murder investigation.
Yep.
I can re-listen to that and pick up on new things all the time.
Honestly, it makes me want to forgive white people. You know, like you guys got one thing, and I'm like, you guys get a pass on it. You guys.
No, we saw a lot to atone for.
I don't know about that. Hot Fuzz is really good. That said, listen, it was a joke. Everybody relax. Settle down. All right, person that got triggered, relax. We got some breaking news, okay? Late breaking news, Kyle. As we were hitting record on the show, we have some Nintendo news. Everybody's been talking about the Switch 2. There is a Nintendo Direct any minute.
Some dude 3D printed in his house somewhere.
And we all believed it because we're stupid. But this is actually real. Breaking news. Nintendo has announced that they are officially suing Pocket Pair, the developer of Palworld, for copyright infringement. Kyle Stevenson, gut thoughts? Palworld game soon to come to PlayStation. It's going to be announced next week. Probably at that State of Play. Not at a Nintendo World. What are your thoughts on this, my friend?
Good.
Oh, really?
I think it's egregious that people look at Palworld and say, "Oh yes, those don't look the same as some Pokemon." Yeah,
I think
there's no way they didn't like, hey, that Lapras, let's just change a tiny little bit of it.
Even like the Pokeball is like it's a Pokeball. Like, yeah, I've seen Pokeballs. That could be an offshoot Pokeball.
I honestly, Joe, you just said we might see it in whatever State of Play next week. I would not be shocked if they pull it from that show after this news.
Yep.
Just stay away from it.
Oh wait, you think they're gonna pull it?
They're getting sued by Nintendo. Nintendo sued a man because he emulated something and he has to pay a ton of money every year for the rest of his life, effectively ruining everything.
Ruined. Yeah.
Over a video game that he emulated or some bullshit like that.
Truthfully, I don't know, man. I always, you know me, I always like to root for the little guy, you know? But even here, it's like, yeah, these are pretty damn close to Pokemon. And if I am, if I am the, what is it, the lead, you know, investor of, the Pokemon company, again, technically second party studio, nerd chat. um, you know, I would be very litigious too if something that looks like a Pikachu is holding a Glock. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, especially over the content of the game.
Exactly.
You're shooting Pokemon.
Yeah.
A Lapras
Yeah.
has rocket launchers attached to
You're
it.
eating the Lapras. Folks, they're eating the Raichus. They're eating your favorite Pokemon. Yeah, I mean it's true. Like it is true, right? You kill them and you eat them?
You can.
That's
I'm pretty
wild.
sure you can.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Live chat, let me know what you guys think. Do you think Nintendo has a case? I legitimately do think so. And I think they're gonna have to change some of the I think they're not gonna have to change the whole game, but some core characters are gonna have to.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
their design
Nisa,
philosophy.
Nisa in chat says Pocket Pair can get away with it by claiming satire or parody, which is true. But if they weren't looking so similar to what the Pokemon look like,
yes,
you could make a Pokemon game or a game that involves creatures that you catch or whatever, but have different designs. These are just way too similar for my personal taste to be like, oh, they're totally different. Like when you look up this news, the one I see, it's like that's an Electabuzz.
right.
But no, that's the Palworld version of it, but it looks so similar to it.
And I think that's where they have a case.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Listen, God bless the Pocket Pair devs. It was nice knowing y'all. It's been real. And
I'm sure you didn't mean anything bad about it or whatever. No ill intentions when you made your game. I'm happy for all your success.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you have to deal with big bad Nintendo right now.
Yeah. And again, good luck, y'all. And listen, just FYI, y'all, a little bit of housekeeping for you. We got our Astro Bot by the Players show happening this, what is it, October 6th? We're going to be chilling out with folks. We're going to be talking all about our experiences with Astro Bot, our favorite levels, our favorite abilities, and we're going to get a real spoiler with it because it's our spoiler cast. Each and every month, we sit down with patrons. We discuss a game of their choosing, and we deep dive into it. We spoiler cast the hell out of it, and I cannot wait to sit down and talk about one of my favorite games this year, one of Kyle's favorite games this year, Astro Bot. So stay tuned for that. Of course, our Patreon pitch. Well, like we say each and every week, the reason why we look so good, we sound so great, is because of your generosity over at patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. I want to thank our newest members, HKyle_85 at the bronze tier. I want to thank our premium producers, Todd Burowitz and Toxic. I want to thank our platinum members, Jace Shea, Jedi Master Ren, Cowboy Danger D, Jonas Young, The Green Gorilla Gamer, Chaotic Monkey, Ryuko Kill 90, Stephen Flesh, Doubles and Bits, Bertos Maximus, Chris, Hybrid 748, Matt Valdez, Silk Cannet, Decimine, Mitchell Gramling, and Mike Thomas. Kyle, would you like to read the gold members for me? Because I forgot there is a new member that just signed up today, and I forgot to add him to the list. Can you do the voices?
I'm going to try. Gold members, Cypher Primus, Darth Simon the Pie Man, Jesse Garcia, JB the Purple Monkey, Hide Indoors, Katie, Kevin Mitchell, Kevin Diaz, Marcus O'Neill, Red Arrow, Ageless Hermit, Androsor, Astronaut Jr., not to be confused with Astronaut Sr., Winter Gamer, Stingray X, Robbie Bobby Miller, Brenton Zachary, Final Fan XZ, Hambone, JD Dillinger, Stone Cold E.T., Tino Six Speed, Ed Johnson, Sean McKenzie, Rick Arrington, Matthew King, Overlord, Dewani Raksha, Drellish, Rick Davis, Steph Mildner, Samuel Nestling, Maximum Carnage, Solo, Big G, and Suddy.
Ooh, and I almost forgot you, but don't worry, you're here. I'd like to thank Aaron himself, Aaron, for signing up at the platinum tier. Thank you so much. And again, you can support us any which way you could. It'd be greatly appreciated. Our fee for our podcast is up this month, and it is a pretty big one. I think it's over like $300 for the whole year. So it really does help us out just a buck our way over at patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. It really does keep the lights on, keeps the show going. And at the same exact time, you get hundreds of hours of bonus content. For example, the By the Players last month, where we talked about Tales of Kinzara Zao. That's right. Not only do you get to hang out with us at By the Players, and we have our little video game club of the month, but we record it live and we share it out. And guess what? Every episode is a certified, I'm allowed to say it just once, banger. So go, stay tuned, look up that, become a patron. It's a ton of fun. Also, last week's bonus show, we talked about how Kyle and I may believe in reincarnation because I have dreams I can't explain. All that and so much more at patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. Again, thank you so much if you can support us. And if you can't support us financially, no big deal. Don't worry. Don't stress over it. There's plenty of ways of supporting us. Like, for example, hitting that like button, hitting that share button, hitting the notification button. YouTube has a new thing called, I think it's called Hype. It helps smaller creators on YouTube like us gain traction. And all you got to do is hit that like button, stay engaged, and all that good stuff. You could rate us 5 stars on Spotify or Apple. There's just so many ways of supporting the shows, but those are the 3 best ways of doing it. So again, if you can't support us at Patreon, that's no problem. There's always other ways. Again, rate us 5 stars, support us on YouTube, all that good stuff. All right, Kyle, it's time. We promised a spicy episode. Let's get right into it with some spice.
In some news that I don't really freaking care about, Sammy Barker at Push Square writes, PS5 Pro shows real promise in first expert analysis. It's still extremely early days for PS5 Pro, but early expert analysis from Digital Foundry is in, and it's sounding cautiously optimistic. Of course, it's important to note that you can still think Sony's new-gen system is too expensive. That's a perfectly valid point of view. You can also believe the improvements aren't worth the asking price. However, we can't ignore the very real enhancements on display, as discussed in the video above, which you can watch over at Push Square. One thing worth addressing is that some of the details from this previously paywalled video leaked over the weekend completely removed of context. That led Remedy's communications bigwig Thomas Puha to release a statement about Alan Wake 2. In essence, some pretty low internal resolutions are being attached to these early PS5 Pro builds, but as Digital Foundry itself points out, the quantity of pixels is becoming less important as we begin to focus on the quality of those pixels. So in some games, you're talking about internal resolutions as low as 864p, but the entire point of PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, or PSSR, is to bump the overall image quality using AI-powered technologies. As expert Richard Ledbetter explains, quote, PS5 Pro receives extra GPU horsepower, enhanced ray tracing capabilities, and machine learning capabilities. The idea is for the big 3 to work in tandem, delivering superior quality visuals from a more holistic standpoint. Internal resolution is only one element of overall image quality, and PSSR is already showing some promise, delivering results that diminish the importance of the base pixel count, end quote. Digital Foundry notes that in these early indications, PSSR isn't on par with industry standard DLSS yet, but it's an improvement on AMD's own FSR2. Quote, already we can see that the upscaling quality of PSSR lacks many of the profound issues we've noted when FSR2 is running at very low resolutions. It's early days, it's not perfect, but there's grounds for optimism, end quote. Of course, the experts are basing their analysis on a higher resolution rendering of Mark Cerny's presentation from last week. We don't know how old the builds are or whether they represent final quality. In other words, there's still plenty of time for more impressive footage and results to emerge. But these are promising first steps. Perhaps they don't have $700 of value to you, and that's fine, but it's already becoming clear Cerny has delivered a meaningful upgrade here.
All right. And this comes from Vince Zampella, aka the only person I trust at EA, and Respawn, who said this, relayed by IGN. Zampella was asked if he thought the PS5 Pro $700 price tag, to which he replied that consoles have always been expensive. Quote, if you go back, some of the older consoles were just as expensive and probably adjusted for inflation were probably more. So at first seemed a little shocking, but it's actually not that bad. And if you get a $700 PC, you're not getting the same performance you're getting out of a PlayStation 5 Pro. Kyle Stevenson, we've seen a lot of side-by-sides. I think just today we got more side-by-side footage of the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, PlayStation 5, I think it was performance mode, alongside the Pro just mode. And it is visually a whole lot clearer. It is like playing, that quality mode that would usually be at 30 FPS, but at a solid 60 FPS. So seeing everything now, a week removed from the PlayStation 5 Pro, has this changed your mind on the console? Have we gotten some second thoughts as they're now more refined? As last week we're kind of reacting as we saw the announcement. So I want to know your thoughts.
Well, I'm just looking at that side by side of FF7 because I didn't see it yet.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me.
I've been working all day. I mean, yeah, I see it's clearer.
Yeah.
I'm still not spending $700 for it.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I'm still of the mind, and I think last week, Kyle, I kind of missed the goalpost because people are like, Joe, are you telling us just to go out there and build a PC? Absolutely not.
No,
No.
Don't do that.
No, not. First off, take no financial advice from me ever. But no, I feel like over the week, Kyle, especially since the announcement, we've seen two arguments, and they're both of this weird extreme. Like one side is trying to gaslight you, going, $700 is nothing. You're just poor. And by the way, this thing can do things that high-end graphics cards can't do. Therefore, it's practically a 4070 by its own, and it's the best thing out there. So suck it. And then you have this second side where it's an emotional reaction to it, where it's like, I've been a PlayStation fan for years. This is tone deaf Sony. This is arrogant Sony at its best, or at its worst, rather. And I'm out of here. I hate this decision so much. I am going to spend $800 on a PC because I don't like this $700 option. I just can't find that logic.
No, I can't either.
Where I still lean on, personally as a consumer, right? If I did not own a PlayStation podcast, I think I wouldn't be paying for a Pro, and that's nothing to do with not so much the price, yes, but how much I like my PlayStation 5.
Wait. What you just said, are you hinting at you are going to get one?
I'm leaning on for the pod. Leaning on.
Okay.
Oh, okay, tough guy. But what I'm getting at is, as a consumer, I'm happy with my PlayStation 5. I take a look at the PlayStation 4 and the 4 Pro, and I remember going, is the PS4 Pro quieter? Because I'll buy it.
But that's to me, that's different. The PS4 Pro was different because the base PS4, again, the fans were terrible, ventilations were terrible. The Pro was needed to make base games run better and just more quality of life, and seeing the games being able to be upscaled from where they were on PS4, night and day from what I remember. This one, I feel like we're at that stage, at least me personally, where games are already gorgeous. You've already heard me about it and say it a million times. It's got to do something a whole lot more to wow me to spend, for me personally, over $800, because I'm going to have to get the disc drive. Jiminy agrees with me.
Yeah, dude, Jiminy's like, whoa. I remember. Great grandfather was there.
And honestly, I reading this and they keep saying like, oh, it's still early days. Then why did we have to announce it now?
Mm,
If all
mm,
these things that they showed during that presentation are quote unquote early
yeah,
builds and early days for the life cycle of the console, why now? Why
yeah.
couldn't we get the Pro next year to show off like a Death Stranding 2 running on it or any other new games that we don't know about yet? Like,
Yes.
I don't know. It's very
Yeah.
confusing to me.
Chat's like, listen, we don't care you got we don't care that you got promoted last week, Joe, okay? I love what Tommy says in the chat. Hold the line, Joe. All right, that phrase, okay, all right,
We don't like
we're
that phrase
wobbling.
around here.
We're wobbling. Interest rates just dropped. Get a house instead. I love you, buddy. I need that. I don't need how the interest rates to just drop. I need this housing market to
the
crash.
the only reason why he gave you that look when you're like, oh yeah, I'm leaning towards getting one.
Yeah.
I thought the plan was to save for my PC.
Oh no, absolutely. And that's the thing too. Like when it would come down to like the PlayStation 5 Pro, like I would not use Patreon money. This comes
Oh,
from
personal
just
money, then fine.
yeah, I
Spend
got
whatever
some walking
money you
around
got.
money. Yeah, no, 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 no,
I
no.
don't care.
I want listen, I I do hate Jiminy. I don't want to hear him ever again. You know what I'm saying? I need that software that to cancel out Jiminy. No, so like for me, that's where I'm kind of leaning towards. It's just like, yeah, I have a PlayStation channel, I have a PlayStation podcast. I feel like y'all do deserve some type of coverage in terms of like, is this thing worth, the bang for your buck? But again, like I go over to my PlayStation 5 and go, I like you. Like I'm fine with choosing between, quality and performance. It's like I'm sitting 5 feet away from my TV. I'm truly not noticing much. So for me, I'm just content. And I think it speaks more to like how well the PlayStation 5 has been built. Because if it was the PlayStation 4, I'm heading over to Best Buy. I'm buying a Pro just because, yeah, it's not going to sound like a jet engine when I turn it on. Because I remember the reason why I wear headphones now whenever I play games is because I was conditioned to do that by my PlayStation 4 because it kept breaking the immersion because it kept sounding like it was about to take off. So for me, I think it speaks to how well the PlayStation 5 is built to say, I don't feel the need for Pro. And to go back to what you were saying, it's like, well, this seems like early days. Well, yeah, to me, it's like, yeah, it's a 1.0 of the PSSR tech, right? Of that image quality tech. So to me, I actually feel like this is not just like the test of, for the PlayStation 6, but this is the thing that's saying, okay, so let's hammer out the kinks here. Then when the actual upgrade to the upgrade, the next gen starts, it'll be ready. So for me, it's more like we're testing things out right now. So yeah, of course I think it's gonna be, and when I mean testing it out, I mean this is a 1.0, it's gonna be a little bare bones. You're gonna get PSSR 2.0 and it's gonna do, double the things and then some, right?
Can we stop
So
with these silly acronyms?
I know it's the pisser.
It's thank you. I'm glad
I
somebody
know,
else sees
really.
it other than me. I hate
But
it.
I mean, so like things like that, I think it's important to note. It's what makes PCs so viable is because of this machine learned tech. It is because of things like DSSL, like that help improve image quality. It's one of the reasons why, like when you turn on a PC, the image quality isn't 4K, but it looks damn near. Who cares? It's tech that makes games look really, really good, even if they're not 4K quality. The image quality is just renowned. So yeah, to me, again, I don't think as a consumer it would change my mind. But this isn't for the lack of I hate the price tag so much as I really feel like I don't need to because the PlayStation 5 does such a good job. And yes, second is the price is outrageous. $700. I don't care what tech is in it. I have to think about my own wallet, and $700 is still steep. This could have been a great tech for the price, right? people could be like, oh wow, you're actually getting a whole lot, even if sentiment wasn't so mixed. I'm still looking at this thing going, yeah, but my wallet. This could be a student loan payment, you know?
I again, I think I said it last week, but I would feel differently if like the next round of high quality TVs are out and I wanted to match my console with TV with the highest of quality.
Right.
I don't have an 8K TV. It'll be years before I have an 8K TV, probably.
Exactly.
My 4K TV now is doing perfectly fine, knock on wood, because I can't spend any money right now. But that would be the only case for me to break the delusion and spend $800+ on a Pro and disk drive.
That's it. I want to shout out Yarden. They did not think of that acronym through. They really did not, man. Oh my goodness.
To follow it up, Bender of Strings in chat says companies need to hire a frat guy to do nothing but name check new product names to make sure they can't be used as a meme.
Bro. Before you put that out, bro, hear me out, bro. Yeah, I feel you.
That happens everywhere too. And just really quick, that reminded me years ago. And Google at your own risk, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
WWE had a stable of women. It was Paige, it was Becky Lynch, and it was Charlotte Flair. Okay. And for about a week, they were called the Submission Society or something like that.
No.
Come to find out, that's an adult porn site or something about that, and they had to change it. There's also Sheamus, and I think it was, I forgot who he was partnered with a few years ago. They were called the Banger Brothers.
Love that name.
And that didn't go over well either.
I would have kept it. I would have stood firm.
Yeah, well, you know, that's just a thing. Companies need to do a better job with naming things.
Yeah. It's like, but in Britain, it means something totally different. No, not when you put brothers in it. All right, Kyle. It's time we talk about not the near future, Kyle. I want to talk about the hopefully very distant future. So far in the future, you might say, Joe, why even bring it up now? Kyle, take it away.
I love that the first two stories are about tech things that I could give two shits about. Andy Robinson over at VGC writes, Sony has contracted AMD for PlayStation 6, report claims. According to Reuters sources, AMD landed the contract through a competitive bidding process which took place during 2022 that eliminated others such as Broadcom and Intel. AMD also created the custom system on a chip, the SoC, for PlayStation 5 and the forthcoming PS5 Pro, and according to Reuters, this was a crucial point in Sony's decision for PlayStation 6. Quote, moving from AMD, which made the PlayStation 5 chip, to Intel would have risked backwards compatibility, which was the subject of discussion between Intel and Sony engineers and executives, the publication claims. Ensuring backwards compatibility with prior versions of the PlayStation would have been costly and taken engineering resources. Allowing PlayStation users to play games they have purchased for older systems is a feature Sony often includes in a next-generation system, end quote. Rival chipmaker Intel reportedly met with Sony in 2022, including meetings between the two companies' CEOs, dozens of engineers, and executives. A dispute over how much profit Intel would take from each chip sold blocked it from settling on a price with Sony, it's claimed. In response to Reuters reporting, an Intel spokesperson said, quote, we strongly disagree with this characterization, but are not going to comment about any current or potential customer conversations. We have a very healthy customer pipeline across both our product and foundry business, and we are squarely focused on innovating to meet their needs, end quote. Sony and Broadcom did not respond to requests for comment. AMD declined to comment. According to documents published as part of the court battle over Microsoft's Activision's Blizzard acquisition, Sony doesn't expect to launch its next-gen console until 2028 at the earliest.
least at the earliest. Someone put it in chat, and I can't help but agree. Like, COVID really did put a wrench in a lot of things, and I definitely feel like we can use a little bit more time with the PS5, with the Xbox Series. We can use a year or two extra on here. I don't feel the need or the rush to go out there and again, like if I don't feel the need or the rush to go out there and run and buy a Pro, I do not feel that need, nor am I rushed to go out and even start thinking about next gen. But the reason I ask, Steph Stimpy writes, all right, there, a question for the Sony Pony Express. Yeah. Now that the PS5 Pro has been announced, it has inevitably got us thinking about price and features of the PlayStation 6. What the form factor or shape you would like for the PS6 to have. Personally, I would love to get some simplicity back, like the perfect PS2 Slim. Ooh, perfect. All right. And move away from unnecessary weirdness of the PlayStation 5, which looks like a convention center or a cool airport hotel. Keep up the excellent work. Take care and look after yourselves. Cheers, Steph Midler. Pronounced Mill Dinner. Mill Dinner.
We'll add it to the
Oh,
Patreon.
we'll add it to the Patreon, Steph. Hooey, my
Appreciate you,
bad.
Steph.
Yes. So, Kyle,
Mm-hmm.
talking about the PlayStation 6, it has gotten people thinking, like, with the price of the 5 Pro being $700.
Mm-hmm.
Man, where the first things first is, where's this thing gonna get priced at?
Oh, I can't think that far ahead.
Like,
See.
where do you feel like it's gonna fall?
A loaf of bread in 2020, it's probably going to be $42.
Yeah, depending on the syrup.
Bottle of water is going to be $102.
Yep.
PS6 is probably $1.4 million. It's probably going to be close to the $700 price tag.
Yeah. I mean, Yarden in the chat and live chat, let us know. And also, because you guys been keeping us honest, but let us know what you think the price is going to be. Because Yarden writes, PSX is going to be the most amazing $7.99 you will buy. Or sorry, will buy you. Eyes. Googly eye emoji. So you think it's going to be $700, $800? Because I mean, like, usually at this point,
without a disk drive.
Without a disk drive?
I already know that. I know.
And I hate to trick you again, but when we were in that group chat late that night, Jiminy is also upset. We also said that maybe Kyle needs to get over the disk drive. That's the future is digital. Oh man. Oh man. He's upset. Jiminy's speaking for him, and it is expletive filled.
Does everyone need to tell me how to live my life? I'm tired of it.
All right, fair enough. No, I think the Pro has certainly scared a lot of people. I don't know if the Pro is the thing you look at per se to say that the PlayStation 6 is going to be $800. I do think, though, the realm of the $400 or $500 console, those days are over. I do think we'll get slightly beefier consoles at a slightly beefier cost. So I would hope, my money's on that it is a $600 console. And Kyle, I don't think you'd like this. Yeah, I think you'll have an option of a disk drive, but it'll be the $700 option.
I don't think there's not even going to be an option.
You think it's just over?
I think it's gone. And I just need to deal with it.
Well, okay, but let's talk about that backwards compatibility, though.
Sure,
if there's no disk
digital.
drive, but then how do I play my PS4 games?
Screw us. I don't know. What do
Buy
you
it
mean? What do you
digitally,
mean? I mean, all collector's editions now are statues and stuff with no disc. They don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Everything's digital unless they have a program where you can like type in a UPC code or whatever and they'll give you a code for it.
That's too giving.
It's way too giving. That's why I know they're just cutting the cord. It's done.
Tommy Hawk 906 writes, it's going to be for some people and not for the rest. We're lucky it has been so quote unquote cheap for so long. That's right, man. Gaming is an expensive hobby and it is seemingly just getting pricier and pricier, which is just wild.
Listen, I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
Because I'm perfectly fine with companies and devs making the money from games to fund their next games. I totally understand it. But if we're going all digital, games can't be $70.
Oh, dude, I think they're going up.
I understand that, but like, there's no more physical production you got to worry about anymore.
Doesn't matter.
That's what makes me mad. That's what makes me mad.
I know.
So.
I mean, yeah, I think. I mean, Dylan Gibbs writes, as long as the PS6 offers more than the 5 Pro at $700 is just fine. I don't know, man. I mean, we will see. I'm very curious because I know some people out there on the interwebs are like, oh, this thing's selling out for sure. The disc drive sold out. That's a false story. They didn't sell out. You could buy them right now. And so to me, it's just like, we'll see. I don't want to put the cart before the horse. Would I be surprised if they sell out? No. Would I be surprised if they don't? Slightly. Yeah, because they've been on a bit of a mixed bag the last like month and a half. So it would surprise me slightly if it didn't. That said, Tommy writes, according to Jess Corden, the next Xbox he believes strongly will be a mix of console and Windows launcher that will easily reach $700 minimum. So PS6 is likely $750 to $800, to be honest. And yeah, I think also like I think the future of consoles are going to look more PC-esque. Like when you think about the Xbox, it very much the future of what we've heard. Even through the grapevine, it seems like it's more Steambox than Xbox, where it's like, hey, pick the launcher. If you want our launcher, great, but this thing can run Steam games. This thing can run Epic Games launchers on this box, which I'll be honest is actually pretty darn exciting. So I do think that's like a really interesting way of looking at it, or of looking at the console space, and an interesting way of Xbox to actually gain consoles. You know, for people to go, yeah, I don't know how to build a PC. It seems like smart people Legos. This thing, okay. So I mean, yeah,
smart people Legos.
Yeah, man. So for me, I think the 700 minimum. I think this hobby is gonna get more expensive, and it's something that is the unfortunate realities of it. And I wonder what the outlook of console gaming will be come the 10th gen. Are we in the 10th generation with the PS6 and whatever the hell Xbox is going to confusingly name their thing? So yeah,
just somebody let Square Enix know. Okay, prices go up. Don't set your expectations so high.
Yeah,
right?
Jesus. Kyle H85 writes, I swapped to digital at the release of Forbidden West, and issues with delivery delayed. And my issues with delivery.
That is the thing which is why I'm happy that my Best Buy I can still pre-order things to pick it up day of, or else I won't. If you order physically, there is no guaranteed by delivery day or release day anymore. They say that, but we get it 4 days later or later, and that's sucky.
Yeah. All right, Kyle. Let's yell at the sun one last time.
Oh, I think you're gonna be surprised. Zarmina Khan over at PS Lifestyle writes, Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered release date seems near. It looks like Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered's official announcement and release date aren't too far away. The rumored remaster was first outed in 2022 when some outlets got hold of an internal Sony document, but we haven't really heard anything since, until today, that is. The unannounced title has just been rated by the ESRB. The ESRB rating, thanks to Reddit, mentions PS5 and PC as the remaster's platforms. It looks like Sony will be opting for a simultaneous release, a la Until Dawn Remake, Previous reports claim that Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered will feature an improved lighting system, texture overhaul, improved animations, and new character models. According to MP First, who first leaked the remaster, the game will also feature new accessibility options, different graphic modes, and VRR support. As for when the announcement will be made, considering that Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered has just been rated by the ESRB, we're guessing that an announcement is coming at the rumored PlayStation State of Play, which is supposedly within the next week or so. Whether the game will be enhanced for the PS5 Pro or not remains to be seen.
All right, we're bound to have an interesting conversation, as we've talked about it previously a few months back. When this was just rumored, remember they took off the base game from PlayStation Plus. We had a different way of thinking, where it's like, yeah, this seems dumb off the rip, but I mean, they are making a show, and you want the best version of that, akin to The Last of Us Part 1 and Part 2, remaster and remake. So as much as it feels a little dumb, for the new people walking in, you want to give them the best experience. There is no show right now, and could very well be no show ever. Now we're getting this this remaster or remake, and it's kind of like the quote I always like to use. It's like the Step Brothers interview. We heard the fart, now we smell it. It smells kind of like shit. Ace Insane writes in, just like you can too, by the way. You join our Discord server each and every week. I ask for questions, and the community comes in and delivers. Ace writes, do we really need a remaster of Zero Dawn? I've actually started playing it for the first time recently, and I think it looks great as is. I already got the 4K 60 patch on PlayStation 5. I'm sure a native PS5 version could look a bit prettier, but I just don't think it's very warranted to charge for yet another PS4 game remaster. I may be in the minority. I just feel constant remasters are getting a bit exhausting. Back when a lot of PS2 games were getting PS3 remasters, it made more sense, as the PS2 did not have native HD support. But nowadays, when PS4 games are easily patchable to run at a smooth frame rate on PS5, it feels a bit more like a money grab than anything. Last of Us Part 2 capitalized on the HBO show. This is probably looking to capitalize on Lego Horizons game. I'm interested to hear your thoughts. Kyle Stevenson, surprise me.
Surprise? What do you mean surprise?
Surprise me. I want to know your thoughts.
Do we need a remaster? No, we don't.
No.
Am I going to buy it? Absolutely, I am.
Why?
Why? Because I want to play the game in the best version possible on my current hardware.
Grab.
Sure. Okay. Name a remaster that you have not bought in your entire life.
I mean, a lot of them.
Exactly. So why stop now? You're one of your favorite games of all time. The reason this podcast exists. You're going to tell me you're not going to buy this remaster? That's going to have a new visual overhaul? That is more akin, like Bender in chat says, probably closer to a remake than a straight remaster, but remaster and remake are like no words when people say them and feel bad about them.
Yeah.
Like
it runs at 4K 60 on PS5.
Joe, I understand that. I completely get that. I 100% get that.
Okay.
But we're gonna buy it and play it. I don't understand why we're yelling at the clouds over this. We've literally known this was coming since that document leaked a long time ago. Why is it such a bigger deal now?
Kyle, listen. I get it, man. I love Horizon. You guys know it. And listen, maybe also I like the little bit of the jib and jab that we're doing right now. Maybe I'm being just a little devil's advocate here. But we've gotten Horizon Forbidden West, Horizon Call of the Mountain, Lego Horizon. I just feel like there is so much Horizon in the span of like 2-ish years that, like, even as a fan of that I am.
Are you scrolling through
Horizon.
Twitter DMs right now?
Yes, because there is a list that
Because I can
there
see
is
it
a
in
list
your
that I
reflection.
made.
Like, what are you doing?
Where do I hide this? There's a list to a point that I want to make later on. But like, to me personally, like it just feels like we're on overload of Horizon.
Okay, sure. But why do we stop the line at Aloy and Horizon? Nintendo does it with their mascot characters. Xbox does
Right.
it with their mascot characters.
Well, the
So
argument would be,
why are we drawing at the line right now with Horizon?
I think the argument would be made that when it comes to Xbox, they give you that like the boost mode to a lot of their games, right? So like if it's
Okay.
a 360 game, they have that machine learned technology
Sure.
that they're able to, do all sorts of crazy stuff with, that they're able to boost it up to 4K 60, all that machine learned stuff. That's why. And so like when it comes to Nintendo, I think there's not a great defense there, but I think the point that you spoke to earlier, I'm going to stop searching for the list because I'm getting distracted. The point that you made earlier is, I think people are starting to get fatigued from remasters and remakes,
Sure, I get that.
and that's why I think Sony is they are the they are the leader of like, listen, we know you don't of the needless remake. It's like, listen, do we need a Last of Us remake? Absolutely not. Did we change much of this game? No. Are we going to charge you a premium? Absolutely. And I think
Did they though?
it's
Wasn't part one only $40?
no, part one was
Or
if I'm not
60
mistaken,
maybe?
60 or 70.
Okay.
But even then, Kyle, I mean, like for just a graphical overhaul, $60. I mean, Until
and
Dawn,
accessibility
$60.
stuff. Let's not overlook the accessibility stuff.
Sure, absolutely. But even Until Dawn, that's going to be a $60,
Sure.
a game,
Mhm.
just like it was on PS4. So to me, I think people are starting to see it and they think it's a little excessive. That's all.
I get that, but I also I would implore people to stop thinking of it as this is the only thing they're working on. And this is what we've spent the last couple of years on instead of something new. I feel like it's becoming way too much black or white situation where it's one thing or the other. There's no shot that this is what Gorilla, I guess, is the ones doing that. I don't know. This is the only project that they're working on.
Right. So, in great point, and actually, you lead me to the list of which I found.
Okay.
You're right. This can't be the only thing that they're working on, but it seems that way when they don't tell us what they're doing. Like the grand roadmap has not been revealed.
Yes,
right?
And I agree, and that's what's aggravating and bumping everyone's. Oh my god, what's the word? I just had it and it was gone. Like they're not patient right now, and they're aggravated over this because we don't know anything in the future.
But I feel like we have a right. I feel like people have a right to be impatient because yet again, every state of play we're like, right, and so that's why I feel like we're at a fever pitch right now because when you take a look at the PS4 gen, right? How many remasters and remakes did we have? Just off the top of my head, not via this list I'm looking at that I did 5 minutes of research on. We had Wipeout. We had the Uncharted collection. Remember that most people played The Last of Us. They played The Last of Us remastered on PS4. Remember, when people bought their PS4s, that had a 60 to 70% attach rate on that game, on that console. Shadow of the Colossus remake, the Ratchet and Clank remake, God of War 3, Tearaway, Gravity Rush, Patapon, Journey, Flower, Medieval. I know I'm missing a few more, but that's all just during the PS4 era, and we were all right with that because they were showing us Death Stranding. They were showing us Horizon. They were showing us God of War 2018. They were showing us Uncharted. They were showing us Spider-Man Days Gone, right? They're showing us so much out of their slate. Ghost of Tsushima, where it's like, yeah, okay, we're getting a lot of games I've already played, but I know that PlayStation's cooking in the background some of my tastiest treats, some of my favorites, right? So that's what I feel like is the real touch point here, is that people are frustrated that they don't see the grand roadmap. They just see what's up in the next 6 months, and they're like, really? Until Dawn remake? Okay. Right. And yeah, sure, we have Concord. I'm sorry, we have Astro Bot, then we have Concord. And we're like, so it's a mixed bag. We want to see what the grand vision of PlayStation is to kind of put us at ease. That's what I'm thinking.
But
You know?
and I'm with you on that. But like what we've known PlayStation to do this ever since the PS3 era, where we would get remasters or remakes from games from the previous generation.
Well, I want to interrupt you. I'm sorry for a quick
How
second.
dare you?
No, it's important, Kyle. You shut your lid. Dan S writes in the chat, just achieved the astronomical trophy.
Hey,
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Dan. Well done.
You're totally right. And
Because,
I think
like,
a lot of us...
You think you brought up Shadow of the Colossus, right?
Yeah.
It's a PS2 game that was remastered on PS3, which was then remastered or remade on PS4.
Mm-hmm.
We had God of War 3, which came out on PS3 and then remastered for PS4. Granted, the PS3 was weird with the cell processor and all that, and
all that jazz. Yep.
I get it. But ever since then, that generation specifically, the PS3 one, and Sony saw everyone buying those remasters, kind of clicked to them. Why not continue to do it? You mentioned the Uncharted ones. They have been remastered, I think, every gen since they've released on PS3. It's just an intrinsic thing that PlayStation does, and it seems that if a game comes out, and then the first Horizon was what year?
2017.
2017. Yep. So
Yep.
that falls in line with what I'm seeing on this list of all the remasters on PS4, roughly anywhere between a 5-year difference all the way up to a 9-year difference since release, where they remaster or remake something. It's like in PlayStation's DNA. It's just something that they do.
They're gonna keep doing it until it doesn't work, until you guys stop buying them. Like that's truly we can hem and haw all we want, right? Until we stop we actually put our money where our mouth is, and the general audience does as well. It doesn't matter what we yell to the clouds, right? We're just yelling at the clouds, because you're right. And I think the one thing that people don't want to hear is that they usually remake or remaster games that they're interested in continuing.
Yeah.
Like when people say, and I'm gonna hurt your feelings here, Kyle, where's my Resistance? We could have gotten a Killzone instead of this. We could have gotten an Infamous instead of this. It's like, yeah, they're not interested in continuing those games. I'm sorry. Like the games that, like, you talk about how the difficulty of the cell processors, the games that Sony was interested in getting to their consoles, the PS4, they got to the PS4, right? Like God of War 3, they were like, yeah, no, this game means something to us. We got another game cooking. We'll figure out a way to get this game over. So I think that's the other thing, is like the games that they want to continue, they keep remaking and remastering. And they know that it gets people through the door. And again, I think they shouldn't do this. I think it is too early. There is another game I'd rather them remake, but it's like at the same exact time as we complain about Horizon being remastered, it's like, where's my Bloodborne remake? It's like, okay, so there are some you actually want, right? Like remakes or remasters, and remasters are only a problem when you don't want that one. But if it's the game that you do want, you're okay with.
Exactly.
You make the exception.
Thank you. Yeah, that's where my frustration lies, is just because you don't want this one, it's automatically the worst thing in the world. Right. God forbid it was Bloodborne. Everyone would be freaking out, and rightfully so, because I also want that. But we all have our own versions of a game that we wish were remastered, like Nisa and Chad. I want to remaster a Folklore. That would be dope as hell, because that's a great PS3 game.
Black Wyver writes in. Yeah. Sorry. Black Wyver writes in, why is Sony remastering games like Horizon and The Last of Us Part 2 when older games like Bloodborne are just being ignored?
I truly think at this point it's a full-on like Bloodborne remake. I fully believe at this point.
I think it's PS6, baby.
Sure. What was the point I was going to get at? It's
so sorry,
also
I did
no. It's
that was my ADHD.
You I'm not. I won't get spicy at you for that one.
Yeah, thank you.
Like you just mentioned, you just gave me the year because I blanked on it. Horizon came out in 2017. It is 2024. It's been 7 years. By the time this comes out, it's probably going to be 8. It's a next year thing for sure.
Oh, you think so?
And this is going to be real dumb. And it's not going to make a whole lot of sense to you out there. But like, imagine all the kids that want to play Aloy that didn't have access to a PS4 when it first came out, and now the only console they have is a PS5, and now a new version of that old game comes out. Parents are going to buy that for them on the system that they have. It just makes sense. While it might not be for us, the hardcore of the hardcore who play everything when they first come out, a remaster is for other audiences and hardcore fans of those IP. It's not to bring new people in, or it's not to bring people who hate that IP or did not like the IP. They're not bringing them back in because they already are dead set on that game or whatever. But that, to me, is why remasters exist. Remakes are different because it's a brand new version of it. But when it comes to remasters, it's to bring in fans of the OG, the hardcore of the hardcore who love it. Yeah. And just as a quick joking aside, I can't wait to see what From Software puts out when this comes out.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
What do you mean? Or Nintendo or somebody. Like every Horizon game, there's another really big game.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, you're right.
Zelda, Elden Ring.
Breath of the Wild remix.
What other game of the generation will be coming out alongside this one?
Okay, all right. Rumor has it Nintendo.
Let's take the bad with the good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Nintendo. So this is the irony. Apparently, Nintendo's been showing a Breath of the Wild Switch 2 port. I mean, the memes are sitting right there.
Oh my god! Can you imagine? We get a Horizon Zero Dawn remaster and a Breath of the Wild remaster around the same time.
My brain would break.
Gorilla just needs to fire whoever's feeding Nintendo information.
Ninty Gold writes, I am all for the Horizon Zero Dawn remaster. Not only will I have the perfect excuse to replay one of my favorite PlayStation 4 games, again, assuming 4K and or at 60 FPS, but new people to the PS ecosystem will have the best opportunity to play on PS5. I just hope for existing owners that there will be not a steep upgrade fee. I was also wondering if people who claimed that the game back in 2020 at Play at Home initiative would be eligible to pay for the free upgrade. The upgrade fee. If I am right, people who played it via PS Plus would not be eligible and would need to own the original game, looking at Spider-Man. Side note, good work as usual, guys. Aw, thanks. Cheering us on before we even put out the show. No, they're gonna make you pay for it.
I don't think maybe a $10 fee.
You think so? You think $10 fee? I think they're gonna charge you.
We'll see.
I mean, because to me it's like Until Dawn, but that is a quote unquote remake. Now that I say it.
Yeah. We'll see. If they don't, they don't.
That's fine. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Again, I think it is
Isn't there just a game recently that was just announced? Like, if you had the game, you would get it for free.
Yep. It's actually in the
Flash News. Okay.
Yeah. I'll remember it when we get to it. Green Gorilla Gamer writes, "Sup, boys?" With the announcement that the Zero Dawn remaster, it brings to my mind deja vu. Just like I waited for the release of The Last of Us Part 2 remaster since I hadn't played the original. Should I just go ahead and wait for this remaster to play the original? Fine. Whoa. And is Sony just playing dumb? They know Bloodborne Remaster will make them money. Why do they keep releasing remasters of newer games like the two I've mentioned? Or director's cuts for games that also don't need whatever the hell that is? I haven't even played Bloodborne. Oh, you should fix that. And have seen very little of it. What? But I'm astounded at the fan base that wants this so badly, and yet Sony won't greenlight it. Joe, I know you joke about this, but I genuinely just am baffled. And I'm sure you are too. I'm hanging on to the next top tier question till the last one gets put up. Hope to talk to you guys soon. God bless. God bless to you, sir. May he bless your children. Don't know why I had to do that. That was a very kind gesture.
I'm telling you, next year's the 10-year anniversary of Bloodborne. It's happening next year. If they don't, PlayStation hates Bloodborne and they think it's a failure and they're never going to do anything with it ever again. Which is not true because it was part of Astro Bot. So like the decade anniversary, it's got to. Next year's the year. I'm calling it right now. I'm calling my shot right now. Okay. I will draft it #1 in next year's Fantasy Critic.
And I hope you win that year. And you would deserve it, you know? I would say one person put up hard math on me. That's like, well, here's why. Horizon sold as a series 22.4 blah 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 units, million units. Bloodborne 7.5 million units. I would say that ain't nothing to scoff at.
Definitely not.
I think PlayStation knows that there's love for Bloodborne. There has to be a reason as to why they can't get it done. My philosophy and way of thinking is From Software now has fuck you money, and they don't feel like they need to go back to Bloodborne, or that it's financially responsible for them to go back to Bloodborne now that they've made Elden Ring. That would then lead it to go into the hands of the only people that I would ever trust, which is Bluepoint, to remake this game, as they've done a wonderful job with Demon's Souls. And that takes time.
Luke mentioned before, Shadows of Colossus, they're very good at what they do.
Yep. And so, yeah, I think, I do think you'll see it one day. Is it a PS6 launch game? I would say at the latest, it's a PS6 launch game. My hunch is that it's a PS6 game. My hope is what Kyle just said. We see it sooner rather than later. You know? That's it. Please.
Also, just play Horizon, Green Gorilla.
Just play Bloodborne, dude.
Beat Last of Us 2 first.
Yeah, come on. I named my dog Abby for a reason.
Come on.
All right? She's my people. All right, Kyle. Let's get into the last bit of news. Holy crow, dude. This has been one heck of a week in PlayStation land. Let's get to the last bit of news, my friend.
Jordan Midler over at BGC writes, PlayStation's next State of Play broadcast is coming next week, it's claimed. Giant Bomb reporter Jeff Grubb said on September 12th that he expected Sony to hold a State of Play in quote-unquote 12-ish days, and he doubled down on that in another podcast on Wednesday. Sony's next State of Play is, quote, almost certainly happening on the 24th, end quote, he said today. If it does hold the State of Play presentation next week, the event could be used to announce the long-anticipated Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered, which was recently rated by the ESRB. Grubb also said he'd heard about another PlayStation remaster that's in the works, which is quote-unquote even less exciting than Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered, and that it could be revealed at next week's event too. PlayStation's upcoming releases include LEGO Horizons, which could be released in mid-November, and Bungie's Marathon, which is reportedly targeting a 2025 release. The last State of Play took place in May, good lord almighty, and features titles including Astro Bot, Concord, Dynasty Warriors Origins, Monster Hunter Wilds, and the PC version of God of War Ragnarok.
Isn't it weird that some of those games already came out on that list, and one of those games doesn't exist anymore?
Yeah.
Isn't that nuts?
It is kind of nuts.
Oh, boy.
Also, very odd to me, if we do get one next week, that they're going to be competing with TGS news.
Well, I mean, they're going to be there, right? One would think that they have
fair.
the PS5 Pro there for creators and
yeah. I guess I really just thought they would do it on their own, like they do every other State of Play or thing.
Yeah,
I really thought they would, and an actual showcase instead of a State of Play. But you know what? It's fine.
Yeah,
whatever.
Okay,
I'll take what I can get at this point.
So we got predictions for this State of Play. From what folks have been saying, and when I mean folks, I don't mean the folks that copy what Jeff Grubb says and put it out there and then claim it as their own. So people like Jeff Grubb, people that actually know what they're talking about, they're saying, hey, mostly third-party stuff again. Yikes. But some other stuff in there as well. So this is going to be the roadmap for the first half of next year. Kyle Stevenson gets me thinking, though, what's less exciting than a Horizon remaster / remake that they can announce? What game do you think would be, to Jeff Grubb, not exciting? So to understand Jeff Grubb, A, the man's a coward. He won't be on our show. Okay, I've asked him. We've even set up time.
He's very busy.
Okay, and then all of a sudden he just ghosts me, Jeff. That's the first sign of cowardice. No, please come on. But he's a man that likes his game-ass games, right? We're talking about your Astro Bots, right? Your platformers, not so much of the cinematic variety. So if I'm in Jeff's brain, as terrifying or as exciting as that may be, I think the game's Uncharted.
4?
Now, they already remade 4, it's a remaster of 4, right? It's the collection of 4 and Lost Legacy.
Yeah.
I think, Kyle, let's get on your crazy hat for a second.
Are you okay?
We're remastering the collection.
I thought you were gonna go Golden Abyss and bring the Vita one up.
Oh no. That could go in Jeff Garvin's garage to get upset at.
Don't bring his name up. There are now a few people who I don't ever want to hear about ever again. Him, David Jaffe, the Quartering.
That's fair.
Any of those fucks.
Oh, well, watch your language.
I've been cursing all show, Joe.
I know, that's fair. No.
I have an answer.
What do you think? That's a boring one.
I did Google it, but apparently Jeff likes this game.
Okay.
In a tweet, according to 4 years ago. Okay. I feel like people would also feel like this is less exciting than a Horizon one. From the overall general hate in the gaming community.
As of late, yeah.
I'm gonna say The Order.
No, that'd get me hyped as hell, dude. You kidding me?
We would get hype as hell.
Overall, let's go.
I don't think people would be excited.
Dylan Gibbs writes, God of War
2018
remaster.
I will draw the line there.
Why, Kyle? People haven't played it. Boo humbug,
I'll draw the line there.
All right, that's where you draw the line. Yeah, I think it's Uncharted. I definitely think
that's so dumb. No, absolutely not.
It's not exciting, but can I be honest with you, Kyle? I'd buy it. I was playing Outlaws. Listen, I was playing Outlaws, and I'm like, man, I could really go for a really good Uncharted game right now. It was like during the climbing portions, I was like, I could go for a really good Uncharted game. Like I can do that. I feel like that's not exciting for most people, and it is dumb, but I really do love Uncharted, and I kind of miss it. So I do. So I think that's it.
I'm trying to look at like other PS4 games that might be up for like a remaster that's less exciting. I wonder if it's because that studio no longer exists, and that would be weird. I was gonna say like Concrete Genie.
Ooh, no, but no, absolutely not.
I love Concrete Genie though.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't sell
real good
at all. Yeah, I don't know. Again, like God of War Remastered does sound like the least exciting thing.
It's gonna hit me way later. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Were there any like smaller PS4 games?
Again, it has to be so unexciting that I honestly fear that Dylan's right here. Here's a question for you, Kyle. What do you think we are going to see at that state of play? Do you think we're going to see Marathon here?
I don't know.
You're blank slate?
I genuinely have zero ideas.
Well, where's your hype at for it, my friend?
Eh,
Oh, that's not good.
it's only because it's not a showcase. And the
Right.
rumors, it's all third party stuff. I'm no offense to any third party stuff. I'm gonna play the hell out of most of those things. I really want to see some first party things. Bender, don't let Marcus O'Neill hear you say that.
He
Less
says
exciting
puppeteer.
puppeteer.
Oh, Marcus O'Neill's upset. Puppeteer is very exciting. Um, well, to Marcus, no, it was a great game. Yeah, no, I'm at like a
I wonder if it's
moderate
like,
level of excitement.
what if it's like Infamous Second Son?
I would pop for that though.
Oh God, Detroit.
I would hate that personally. That would get me upset. That would get me pretty livid. Gravity Rush again?
Oh,
Dormant
please,
92
please
rights?
no, please no.
Mm, I mean,
Days
yeah, there's so
Gone?
many possibilities.
I'd
No,
be
no,
excited
no,
for
no.
Days Gone.
Actually, yeah, no, just to piss off John Garvin.
Yeah.
And they call it the not director's cut.
Oh my God, please.
Or just to get under their skin, they call it the
I'd
director's
give
cut. Don't credit them. Yeah,
all the money there.
yeah, yeah. No, I would like that. That guy
I'm
sucks.
generally drawing a blank outside of the ones that I just threw out there.
Genuinely, I think that I do think the age of showcases are done, which is a bummer to hear and say out loud. I don't feel all too confident that we're gonna get the big blowout until like there is a new console. I do think PlayStation's like small, more refined shows that focuses on partners and then the near future games are the things that Sony's focused on. I think it sucks for us to hear because PlayStation, because of Jim Ryan, wasted so much time on live service bullcrap games. And that's unfortunately what we're still going to probably get out of, fair games and marathon. So, it is definitely we're gonna have a few more months of waiting for the things that we really want. You know, some people say, "Hey, we'll get a showcase early December." I can tell you that's not how that's going to work out.
At that point, it's just gonna be Game Awards.
Yeah,
Anything big will be
I saw
there.
some person go, "Oh, December 30th." I'm here to tell you that rumor is completely false. They have
December
a 3-week.
30th?
Yeah,
No.
they have a 3-week vacation, guys.
Yeah, absolutely not.
They go on break from mid-December to early January. That rumor's full
No
of
way.
shit. So, all right, Kyle. Yeah, state of play. Be prepared to be whelmed. Prepare to see games
Sure.
get excited for them. But I don't think we're seeing Heretic or whatever Naughty Dog or Santa Monica's working on. I think we're gonna see the close to future stuff. Death Stranding 2, Marathon, Fair Games. Those are the three. All right, Kyle. That said,
Flash news?
did I get to Sun 2D2's question?
I don't think so.
Let's read it. I think we already went over it. But Sun 2D2 writes, "Hey fellas, today on Giant Bomb Game Mess Mornings, when talking about Horizon, Grubb mentioned, all right, yes, he was informed that there was another remaster. Yeah, okay. Oh, I'm sorry, son. We unfortunately, we answered that question. Write another one for next week. You got my word. I'm not gonna say the question before you ask it. My bad." All right, Kyle. Time for some flashes. Gotta run fast. We gotta forget that I ruined that bit right there. Oh goodness. We made it awkward for everyone. All right, flash news. Kyle, we got some Astro Bot news. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Astro Bot had a solid first week in the US, with the
Yay.
sales trailing only NBA 2K25. This comes from Tom Ivan over at VGC. Sony's PlayStation 5 exclusive was the second best-selling game during its launch week, trailing only behind MLB 2K25, which released on the same for PC alongside current and last-gen consoles. Quote, across both physical and digital, both Astro Bot ranked second in unit sales for the United States for September 7th, only behind NBA. And Astro Bot DualSense was the week's best-selling accessory. Matt Piscatella, executive director at video games at Circana, said on Blue Sky, sold week one. GameIndustry.biz head Chris Dring also said last week that Astrobot enjoyed a solid UK launch. Quote, first weeks are 21% higher than the debut of Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart in 2021, he wrote on X. Twitter. Astro was number 2 last week behind Space Marine, which was UK's fastest selling Warhammer game, beating Total War Warhammer 3. Astrobot has been critically acclaimed, earning the score of 94 on review aggregation site Metacritic, and VGC's Astrobot review called it the best 3D platformer in a decade. They ain't lying.
They're not. They're all good.
I want to see the tail of this game so long, man. Like this game is so special. It deserves all the accolades. And I think Team Asobi is I think it's only up from here.
For
truthfully.
Sure. For sure.
Love this. I love this for them. And shout out to Warhammer 40K. It's killing it out there.
Yeah.
It's really doing so well. That's awesome.
Despite YouTubers saying something real dumb.
I don't know. No, I don't even want to ask. I don't even want to ask. I don't know it. I don't want to know it.
It rhymes with
I don't want
broke.
to know. No, yeah, I do. No, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. We're having a good 5 minutes. I'm not. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and Final Fantasy 16 sales underperformed compared to past entries. Of course they did. Profits did not meet Square Enix's expectation. This comes from Bobby over at Console Creatures, friend of the show. He was on the show. He reviewed Horizon Forbidden West for us. And honestly, I'd rather talk about Square Enix's expectations than whatever the hell those 3 YouTubers are complaining about Warhammer. So let's get right into it. Square Enix has made comments public from a financial results briefing this financial year ending in March 31st, 2024. The post from May of this year reveals the 2 latest major entries in Final Fantasy franchise, both Rebirth and 16, did not meet companies' expectations and underperformed in sales compared to past entries. Quote, the HD game sub-segment, we released multiple new titles, including major titles such as 16 and Rebirth. Both profits, unfortunately, did not meet our expectations. The segment booked a net sales of 99.2 billion yen, a 20.7 billion year over year. The operating loss of 8.1 billion yen, which is loss widened to 4 billion year over year, despite the release of Flame Stars, good lead there, guys, and 16 and Rebirth in Q4. Initial sales were not as strong as expected. In addition to which, impaired was made it to the content production account, resulting in operating loss. Square Enix president Takahashi Yukiro commented, I'm not going to read this whole thing. It's God, I hate this jargon. It's bullcrap. They're depressed again. They can't hit their sales targets.
2 of the best games in the past 2 years, and you're going to sit here and be like, oh man, it underperformed. 16 was nominated for Game of the Year. Rebirth, spoiler alert, it's going to be nominated for Game of the Year. Maybe don't spend a ton of money to put FF7 Rebirth on Insomnia cookie boxes. Maybe, just maybe, don't partner with Subway with the integration. Don't spend your money elsewhere.
Fluke23 writes in, and I allowed them to listen, because you can send in your questions. But usually we're like, make it like a tweet, maybe 2 tweets long. We don't need a whole editorial. But Fluke, guess what? Shout out to you. I'm rewarding bad behavior because I thought this speaks to our soul. In fact, Kyle, do you want to read this question out loud?
Sure. Hey guys, hope you're both doing great this week. Joe, I hope you and the family are all doing okay. I'm currently in a very similar situation with my Nana, and so if you need a shoulder or an ear, I'm more than happy to help support you.
Likewise, brother.
Kyle, I hope you're also holding up after the final build up to the 6-1 showcase. I know how much time and effort you put into it, so I can't wait for you to be able to sit back, relax, and see the amazing work you've done. Thank you, Fluke. I cannot wait. My question for the Sony Pony, Oh, Express. Our company's putting too much strain on their titles as well as their teams and expectations. Square Enix said that Rebirth and FF16 didn't meet expectations, but as discussed, these games were limited by console exclusivity. Rebirth was also being compared to the remake installment, which was released in the COVID gaming boom on a more established PS4 console. Sony have also fallen into their own trap recently, with Concord being subject to chasing trends, and more recently, poor choices made for the PS5 Pro quote-unquote lapse. I see what you did there.
I love it.
So what do we think is the biggest threat in the gaming industry? Companies relying on big budget titles to prop up the failings of other games, or being too highly strung even when games have been great hit and had success even when being a PS5 exclusive? Developers being forced into directions and decisions that aren't a good fit for the team, or the project only for them to take the hit when the higher ups scratching heads and wondering what went wrong? Or a lot of questions here, Fluke. Or is the biggest threat yet to come with arrogant Sony 2.0 on the horizon? Xbox is quiet and changing their direction for their future. So are Sony feeling like they can take the Apple approach, quote, they'll buy it regardless of price, end quote. And even with the community voicing their concerns and disappointment, will Sony care enough to listen? As always, keep up the amazing work, and we are all proud of you both for everything you're both doing, both on and off the show. Blue heart emoji. Thank you, Fluke.
Ooh, what is the biggest threat to the gaming industry? I think you actually lined it up pretty damn well, Fluke, which is we have games that are doing too much, that are bloated, that are taking too long to make, that are chasing trends that are years old by the time they come out. I think Concord's a great example of this, guys. Concord, a game that I enjoyed. I'm not going to sit here and go, I loved it. It's the greatest game I ever played. I enjoyed quite a bit. But even I would be ignorant to the fact of this game was a Overwatch competitor years after the fact of Overwatch hitting its stride. That game somehow took over 4 to 6 years to make, and it was a hero shooter with a couple of arenas. You know what I'm saying? You're having games that are, 7 years in the making. And when you are employing 100, sometimes 200 plus people for 5 plus, 7 plus years, projects that once were, $50 million to make become $150, become $250 projects. Look at Spider-Man 2, right? Great game. Beautiful. One of my favorite games of all time. My favorite superhero game. $300 million to make that game. That's nuts. It's crazy, right? So I think, Kyle, I'll throw this over to you. I think it's a wombo combo of all of it, man. Games are getting way too expensive. They're taking way too long to make, and they are all chasing trends that eventually they all start feeling the same.
Yep. I mean, you said it great. I'm going to echo that completely. They're getting too expensive, and I think because of that, the higher execs are putting too much expectations on top of them that it's going to be extremely hard to recoup everything.
Yep.
And then they take it, and then they mention like, oh, well, it was only on one console. Sure, it was only on PS5, absolutely. But whose bright idea was to compare it to FF7 Remake, the initial one that came out on PS4 during the last year of PS4 with a huge install base, and that iteration was being looked forward to for years from the fan base? Of course that was going to sell a crazy amount.
Yeah.
And when it comes to sequels, it honestly, in my brain, and I could be totally wrong, so please fact check me in real life or in the comments, I feel like some sequels, when it comes to RPGs, they kind of dip if they're a direct sequel. If they're not a brand new entry, like I'm talking like bad example because not many people liked it, but like Final Fantasy 13 to 13-2 to Lightning Returns, I feel like the sale numbers decline. I feel like this is probably in a similar situation just because of how big the games are, and JRPGs being a niche thing still to the general audience, and see, oh, this game's gonna take 80 hours to beat, and no, thank you.
Right.
It just, I don't know. And I also just think about, for Square Enix particular, they're terrible at setting expectations for their games. Being upset about Guardians, Avengers, sure, I'll give you Avengers, but like Tomb Raider, what are we doing?
Yeah. Yeah. It looks like, so I have here, Reddit's never been wrong, by the way.
Sure.
But 10 sold, and this is not 13.
Shout out to Mark, shout out to Dave.
Yeah. All right, yeah, shout out to Mark and Dave. They're getting rid of all the bad stuff. Don't worry about them. Don't worry about them.
Was that on
Corey,
Reddit or 4chan? I forget which one that was.
I think it was like the even worse one.
Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah. Whatever Corey Lewandowski's favorite side is, it's that one. So apparently 10 sold 8 million units, 10-2 sold 6 million units, and 9 sold 5.3 million units, and then 13 sold 8.15 million units. So yeah, you're right. The sequel typically, I think this is one of the direct sequel. Typically, the direct sequel sells a little bit lower because one would assume not everyone beat the first game.
Exactly.
So when they
if
are
people
direct
knew the
sequel
completion rates for most games, they'd be shocked at how little people actually finish games.
Absolutely. That's why I take a look at, let's bring it back to Astro Bot. Let's bring Joy in. To see an over 10% platinum of that game, God bless you, Astro Bot. God bless you. You're fixing the world. But yeah, like that makes sense. It's why Ragnarok is so incredible in terms of like how well it's sold, because the first one sold so great. And I wonder what the completion of that game is. So yeah, a lot of people think like, oh, sequels are just easy bets. Yes, when you're not a huge RPG that is a direct sequel of. I think it's easier when you are a cinematic game, the likes of, a God of War or Gears of War,
or Halo,
compared to a Final Fantasy. And those games also have other things, especially like Halo and Gears have the multiplayer element that's popular. So, yeah, I think, Kyle, you hit it out of the park, man. It's just a mixture of Square Enix's wild expectations while also putting out these games that, let's be honest, were known to be multi-plat for a while. Now back to this exclusivity thing, and then the weird exclusivity break between like PC and console. You're seeing it right now with 16. 16's great, right? And you're seeing that even on PC, the sales are softened. So I do think this was a mistake for Squeenix. And I do worry for the Final Fantasy franchise. They gotta breathe some life into it, but it can't take 7 goddamn years to do.
Oh, I think Final Fantasy's fine.
All right, fair enough.
I just think their expectations are just too high. Final Fantasy is iconic.
Fair. Hey, Kyle, hear me out here. Annapurna Interactive's entire workforce resigned.
Jesus.
Okay. As reported by Bloomberg, Annapurna Interactive president Nathan Gary and his team resigned following a dispute with the group's owner, Megan Ellerson. Following the discussions to spin the video game publisher arm into its own independent entity, which Ellerson pulled out of, 24 members of the staff resigned from the company. All 25 members of Annapurna Interactive team collectively resigned, Gary said in a joint statement. This was one of the hardest decisions we have ever had to make, and we did not have taken this action lightly. Annapurna Interactive is known for games the likes of Outer Wilds, Stray, and Cocoon. GI Biz wrote that Annapurna has been looking more closely to integrate games with its TV and film divisions, and has hired co-founder Hector Sanchez of Epic Games as president of the Interactive New Media. Quote, our top priority is continuing our support of our developer and publishing partners during this transition, Ellerson said in a statement to Bloomberg News. We are committed to not only the existing slate of games, but expanding our presence into the interactive space as we continue for opportunities to take a more integrated approach into the linear and interactive storytelling across film, TV, gaming, and the theater. Remedy recently announced that Annapurna Pictures will be co-financing Control 2 and bringing Remedy IP to TV and movies. That deal, y'all, has not been touched. That deal is part of the the Annapurna group, not the interactive group. So they are completely fine. That said, too, Remedy is self-publishing their games with Annapurna's parent company financing half of it.
Mm-hmm.
So they're fine.
Mm-hmm.
This news, Kyle, to me, read first as bad news. I think this team's going to be okay.
Oh yeah.
I think they're gonna continue doing their own thing. I think now they just got to find financial backing to do that. And when you have the repertoire of, hey, we've put out Outer Wilds, Stray, Cocoon, and so many more than I,
Mm-hmm.
they're not gonna have a problem finding that financial backing.
Absolutely not.
So yeah, it's not like the team was laid off. They chose to just go their separate ways.
Yep.
And I think whatever the future has for both of them are good. It's sad to see that they couldn't agree to something more amicable.
I'm honestly kind of shocked over Ellison's seemingly disdain's not the right word, but just like hesitancy to do this and to make the publishing like Annapurna Interactive its own thing.
Yeah, I'm wondering what was the thing that they couldn't broker?
Yeah,
was it maybe some of like the Blade Runner stuff that I know Annapurna's working on? Like, was it some of the known IP? Was it like some weird, not weird? Was it the financial stuff they couldn't hammer out?
Yeah, I'm very surprised.
Yeah, but again, optimistic.
Yeah,
optimistic.
Yep.
Hey, Kyle.
Hey.
You ready for this one? Bungie is reportedly considering a $40 price tag for Marathon. This comes from Tom Ivan over at VGC because it did so well for Concord. According to multiple sources, talking to the Game Post, who suggested the PvP extraction shooters launch price could match the two other live services recently published by Sony, including one of the biggest releases, Helldivers 2, and one of the biggest flops, Concord, both released on PS5 and PC. Sony said in May that Helldivers 2 became one of Sony's fastest-selling games ever, with sales far exceeding that of 12 million copies sold in the first 12 weeks. In contrast, Concord from sale took the game offline within 2 weeks of the release month, following reports that it may have only sold 25,000 copies. Unlike Helldivers 2 and Concord, Marathon is also coming to the Series X and S with full crossplay and cross-save and PC consoles. One source told the Post that the core gameplay structure is class-based sci-fi shooter, similar titles to Escape Tarkov with that Bungie twist. Okay, Kyle. I'm going to say this about Marathon. You ready for this? Because I know you have no thought, right?
I could care less. I'm never playing this game.
Go yourself. I know people are saying, hey, right now it's sounding like the gameplay's good. It doesn't play great. I will wait till I get the game in my hands. There's been a lot of reports around Bungie, of course, around Marathon, the creative director leaving because apparently he's a big scumbag. But I'm hopeful. I'm optimistic that Marathon's going to come out and it's going to be a really good game. I think Bungie is one of those games or one of those companies that can get away with charging, money for whether it's a full price game, whether it's an expansion. I think they have the pedigree that allows them, hey, here's a $40 price tag. I hope Marathon is a big hit for them because I know that it needs to be, and I think they know it needs to be. So yeah, there's my thought. There's my thought. All right, and more news that only Joe cares about. Hey, Kyle, listen, the Star Wars Jedi series real good. It's sold over 40 million.
It's good
units across the franchise. Huge.
Yeah.
Cal Kestis is a beloved name in the Star Wars. Like, real talk, these two games are so beloved in the Star Wars community. It almost makes that community not want to be racist, and also makes it like the Acolyte and the Last Jedi never happened. That's how good these games are. It's so good, dude. So, as much as I love Star Wars, and I hate that community so much, the sad news is that the final chapter of Star Wars Jedi is currently in development. So this is the third and final installment of the Jedi series. Respawn, you're gonna crush it, dude. Just don't kill off Cal. I need to see him in the Mandoverse. Please and thank you.
Just, I don't know, make it work this time.
That too.
Because like I really enjoyed Fallen Order.
Yeah.
Survivor I'm a little less on.
Yeah.
Just because I had a lot of issues during my playthrough. Just nail it out of the park with this third one. You know what went wrong.
Yeah.
Don't make the same mistakes.
Whatever you do, don't listen to Star Wars Theory. That dude literally sucks.
Don't listen to anybody except yourselves. You know what you're doing. You made two really good games.
Really good.
You know
games.
what you're doing.
He made one bad fan movie. God, I hate Star Wars Theory. When you go, oh, Joe, who's your, like, are there people in this industry you don't like? Sure. Would you name them? No, not really, because I don't want to be in that. But honestly, Star Wars Theory, I have no qualms with. Like, that dude just sucks. Just sucks. And I'm not this type of Star Wars guy who's like, I love Star Wars. But, like, I don't like everything Disney does. You know what I'm saying? Last Jedi is an abomination to me. But I'm also the type of guy who's like, that I'm like, I'm not going to yuck your yum. If you like Last Jedi, I'm not going to. Okay.
I'm not even saying that to antagonize you. I truly believe that.
Oh, okay, then that's fine. I'm not going to yuck your yum. I'm not going to convince you that it's bad.
No.
You go and you enjoy it. Dude, I'm 33 years old. There's not much things that bring me joy anymore.
I'm also at the point where I'm older. I don't have as much energy to fight for things as I used to.
Yeah.
And some things are like, just let me enjoy things.
Yeah. It's like, just please don't harass the cast so much that they think about killing themselves, please.
That's real dumb.
Like, real talk, I joked about like, dude, the guy that played Jar Jar almost killed himself because that community's awful. Because of people like Star Wars Theory, so he sucks. Yep. And I really hope he kicks rocks. All right, here we go. You ready for this one? THQ announces a PS5 port of a PS4 remaster of a PS3 action game, Darksiders 2. This comes from Stephen Tauby over at Push Square. God bless you.
This is the one.
Darksiders 2 Definitive Edition comes to PS5. And also, it launches on October 15th. If you already own the game, though, it's a free upgrade.
This is what I was thinking about earlier. Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
Last but not least, on Flash news.
Darksiders 2 is really good.
Oh, yeah. I that is one I think I would play during the break because I hear nothing but good things.
No, you've never played?
Never played.
It's a good time.
I hear it's really underrated. All right. Last bit of Flash news. Great Vita game, Freedom Wars, the last great Vita game. Freedom Wars gets licensed by Bandai Namco to release on PS4, PS5, Switch in early 2025. Sony has given Bandai Namco
this is wild.
Looks like the license to do this.
It's really, really cool that this game got freed from Vita jail.
Let's do it.
I put a decent amount of time into it. It was a good time. Very grindy. Are you familiar with it?
No, by this time I have sold my Vita, but I remember the old, what was it, PS I Love You days, maybe, where they talked.
Essentially, and I'm a little rusty on the story of it all, but you are in this prison and you are sentenced to like 1,000,000 years is your sentence. And by doing certain quests and missions, whatever, you can lower that sentence down.
Yeah.
And that's kind of for your freedom. It's a pretty fun game. It's wild that they have licensed it out, but it's cool. Please do this with more, because I joked earlier, I would love to play Golden Abyss again.
Yeah. Like, and honestly, that's the one thing that I hope Sony does do. Expand XDev to make smaller teams, or get smaller teams to get some of your IP that you're not using. Astro Bot showed you have so many dormant IP that are loved by folks. If you give them the right amount of cash to make those games possible, I think you can really, we talked last week of like, the Sony CFFO or whatever, the CFO said that, we don't have enough IP like we used to or whatever. It's like, it's there, dude. You have a lot of IP. You guys just aren't utilizing it. So give that out to indie devs. smaller teams to go make, go make, what's the game you love with the Dragon Boy?
Legend of
Uh,
Dragoon.
Legend of Dragoon. Go for it.
Give me that
You know?
remake.
Yeah. So yeah. There's a lot you can do. All right, Kyle. It's time for what you've been playing. Kyle, what have you been playing this week, man?
I platted Vampire Survivors on PS5.
Yeah, look at it. Said
It's a
it
good
couldn't be
time.
done. You said it couldn't be done.
I got into the groove where I turn the music off of Vampire Survivors, even though it's great,
It's great.
and then just throw on How Did This Get Made podcast, and that's what those were my nights for the last week.
That's
Had
fair.
a great time.
Yep.
It's fun.
Love how this game, man.
Also, realized that I could turn on, I think it's hyper mode, and instead of 30 minutes, every round goes to 15. It's like, oh, I should have done this way earlier.
Way earlier. Yep.
That's great. Haven't played MLB The Show because I had to cancel my PS Plus subscription. Watching Skylar play Astro Bot a whole lot, and she's getting pretty good.
Okay.
She's pretty far. She is now on the 3rd galaxy.
Love this for her.
So she beat the gorilla. She beat the octopus. She's on the snake.
Oh.
Is snake the 3rd one?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Absolutely
Good one.
loving it. It so good. I think we mentioned it last week, but Asobi, the only another minor thing in case we didn't say anything. Do an update where you just tell us what all the bots are, like what game they're from, just as like another little history thing.
Hey, question. Did you get your controller yet?
I had it ready for prepare the drop.
Hey, yeah, man, yeah.
Yeah,
Hot dang.
it's pretty nice.
Yeah, it's very nice. It's very nice. So what have I been playing? Whole lot of stuff, man. Continuing my Warhammer journey. Still pretty early on because I poured time into Plucky Squire that I wish I was pouring into Warhammer because Space Marine 2 is just so goddamn good. It is a game that again, I hate to credit him, but I do almost every podcast. Luke Lore over at XEP, he loves games where it's just like, shut up and play. It doesn't matter what's going on here. Just shut up and do cool stuff. And this game is just that. It makes me really want more people to jump in with me to play with, because I can only imagine the mayhem that co-op's going to bring, which is cross-play. You could do all the missions co-op. It's just so much fun, man. Just the amount of enemies that are on screen. I saw one person in the chat going like, yeah, no, it's really good, but sometimes there are some weird stuttering when it comes to like how many enemies that are on screen. I've definitely seen some dips in frame rate, but god damn, dude, this thing for the amount of enemies on screen, I'm like, okay, I'll allow a little dip from time to time. It's just so damn good. That will be the game I will be playing till hopefully it's a game that I want to platinum. That's how much I'm enjoying it.
Awesome.
So hopefully by next week I'll have more to report on
Sweet.
that. Hopefully give you guys a full sweeping review of it. And then I've been pouring time into the Plucky Squire, wanting to beat it. For the podcast, I am on chapter 8. And man, this is one of my most anticipated indie games. Hearing that's on PlayStation Plus, awesome. Like the entry, the barrier to entry has been significantly lowered for so many folks. I am having a struggle getting into this game.
Okay.
I think maybe it was the trailers that led me astray, because I thought there would be a lot more platforming bits and inventive gameplay that I was seeing on screen that just isn't here. It's far more narrative focused than I thought. And the problem with that is that the narrative is not nearly as clever as that of what the opportunity of this game to be. Like, there are so many ideas that they play with, like Astro Bot. There's so many ideas that Astro Bot plays with, but they do it in such a way where it's not like, I want more because it was really fun and inventive the way we were solving problems. I want more because there's not enough depth of what I'm actually doing to solve these puzzles. And it kind of becomes textbook of like, here's a 2D part, here's a 3D 2D part, here's just a 3D platformer part. And the cool little Mario Odyssey jump from 3D to 2D, there are really good ideas that they could play with, that they scratch the surface, but they don't go further enough than, hey, you could go 3D from 2D real fast. And it's a bit of a bummer in that department. Even where you look at the gameplay, and it's very much linked to the past, so it's like top-down Zelda, and it feels really good. It's like, ooh man, if there was another layer here, if we focus more on the gameplay, there's a really great game here. Unfortunately, its narrative again is not nearly as inventive nor interesting of the gameplay mechanics at play here, and it's constantly stopping to drop exposition that I don't care about. And Kyle, when I tell you, like, it's literally, I completed a 30-second puzzle and now I have a 30-second cutscene. I completed a 1-minute puzzle. Now I have a 15-minute, like, oh, wow, you really did that puzzle. Whoa, it's really like they're explaining the things that I just did in wonder and excitement. And it works for the first time you do it, but they constantly do it. It's so annoying. It's like, just shut up and let me play the game. It's not even like you're holding my hand, because there's actually a really cool option where you have this little guy, Mini Beard, that follows you around. And if you're stuck on a puzzle, he'll help you. But Kyle, I suck at puzzles. These are some of the easiest puzzles. They're not that difficult. I only used them like twice through my playthrough. And it's like there is so much opportunity that I feel like they're leaving on the table. And I don't know why. It's every time there's like a boss arena, it's like, hey, we're going to stop you for 5 to 10 seconds to show you 5 enemies that you're going to fight. Hey, we're going to stop and we're going to show you a mini game that you're going to use once. We're not going to tell you how to even work this mini game, which is so infuriating. Every little quote unquote boss fight that you fight, it's sometimes it becomes punch out and you're like, oh, that's cool. You're going to show me how to throw a punch, right? Nope. It's like, you're just punch out. Guess what button to use. And there's one in particular where I had to hit jars and bounce them back. And I'm like, are you going to show me what to, no, you're not going to show me what to do. Oh, it's an annoying rhythm game. Oh, okay. This is the most annoying thing ever. Now you could skip some of those mini games that I found out, but it doesn't get away from the fact that there was one mini game that I was actually looking forward to, and it just straight up didn't work. And when I tried to go back, there's no save points in this game. It's only auto saves. I had to go back 5 minutes, and I'm like, come on, man. And it was still glitched, and so I had to skip the mini game. There is a great game here. It's just filled with delays and unwarranted exposition that gets away from what could make the core elements really, really great. They don't give it time to explain the world, for the environment to explain the world. It's just every waking second you're being stopped. And I yelled at the screen going, shut up, just let me do it. Like, just shut. And it's so bad, Kyle, that I'm literally like, I don't care what's happening now. We're just pressing X. I need to get through this. And sometimes I do miss like what I'm supposed to do, but I just know they're going to stop me again and tell me. It's like, there's a really great game here. I feel like a lot of this game is held up by what is one of the most beautiful, such beautiful art direction, akin to like how I felt when I look at, Cuphead. It's just beautiful. And the animation, stunning, both 3D and 2D. How it's captured and how they're represented, stunning. But then you get to like the gameplay portion, and I'm like, just shut up and let me play this game. It's so infuriating. That's why for me, I'm going to be truthful, Kyle. I don't think I'm going any further. It's a huge bummer. I really wanted to love this game, and I feel like it's it's just infuriating me just how many times they want to stop. And I heard like when people told me in the beginning, it's like, oh, just till chapter 5. I'm like, dude, I'm 3 hours in and y'all still aren't talking. You stopping. Like it's infuriating. It truly is. Yeah, I want to love this game, but I don't know if I got that dog in me, dude. I don't know.
Listen, that's fine. You're allowed to make your own decisions, and I can't talk about it yet because I haven't played it yet. Yeah. I was going to do a joke and act like most of the content creators on Twitter or whatever who haven't played the game was like, who would have thought a game about a storybook would have such a big narrative to it? Who would have thought it would be tell a story?
and as you're right, and even as I'm like, Joe, it's a book, right? Like, and like the premise is cool. It's like Toy Story meets like, I don't know, man, like Tintin. Like it's giving me like awesome European-esque, like what made like their cartoons great and all, like it's right, and it's simple because like I'm trying to remind myself it's a kid game, but then even me, I'm like 7-year-old Joe would be not about this. My attention span would be.
Don't call it a kid game.
It's simplistic, but then even then it's like it's meta narrative. It's like, and that's the thing. It's like the meta narrative definitely does speak to an older crowd, and Astro Bot I feel like does speak to a younger audience, but also to the old audience of just like, hey, games of yesteryear. But the way that it actually utilizes its mechanics treats you like not a idiot. Of just like, hey, here's the level. You're gonna feel like you're figuring it out for yourself, but it's actually like the level showing you. God, that's brilliant design, man. And so when I see the constant like Moonbeard coming in with like, I'm on my Rune Tooth speakerphone. Isn't this crazy that this is happening? It's like, dude, you became so not interesting. You just it falls into the cliches that indies do. It's like, hey, aren't we unique and quirky and different, gang? It's like, it's like, hello, fellow youth. It's like you're falling into that like overly quirky thing that I'm just, maybe it's my cynical brain, but I'm just tuning out of it. I'm just tuning out of it, man.
I definitely think it's your cynical brain.
No, man, I think you're gonna play. You're gonna be like, Joe, I think you're a little bit too harsh, but you know, yeah.
I don't like how you keep grouping indies all together and call them
a lot of them
thing. That annoys me a lot.
All right, welcome to the spicy episode. There are quite a, when I think of the games that are overly quirky, they definitely fall into the more indie or AA space, if I can say.
Okay.
You know? It's like Chicory and this game have the same exact thing that they're trying to say.
Chicory is a fantastic video game.
And that's the difference. Chicory is fantastic. I know I'm negative. Ooh, Joe's a big negative Nance, but it's I didn't take it, man.
No, that's fine. Now whatever.
Sindula, I love you. Thank you for stopping by. Sindula says I gotta go. Unfortunately, boys, can't wait to listen tomorrow.
You're allowed to have your opinions on Plucky, Squire. I just don't like how you loop all indies into one thing. That's it.
I think if there is a sin that of which I would love indie, how about, let me rephrase it. There's a sin that I feel in which some indie games fall into that I feel like this game falls into. And that is the overly quirky nature of like constantly breaking the fourth wall and constantly being over the top quirky and thinking that that's somehow a strength.
I would argue that breaking the fourth wall in the Plucky, Squire is part of its DNA.
I would say that too. Absolutely. It is part of its DNA, but I feel like there are better ways in which you can break the fourth wall when you're trying to propose a meta narrative than the way that they do it. And I can't really speak to it unless I'm spoiling the game.
Okay. I can't wait to play it. I think we'll have a nice, healthy debate. If I dig it or not, I don't know.
Yeah. I honestly don't think you will. Okay. Are you holding on to something like your unbridled optimism?
My Astro Bot DualSense, which you ruined by bringing it up before. I was gonna be surprised.
I didn't know that. Look at these. Look at these
Look
two
at
sweet
these
boys.
big dumb eyeballs on here.
Ooh-wee.
Look at them.
Prepare the drop. Here are the latest steals and deals coming to the PlayStation storefront. Hey, speaking of the Plucky Squire, you can pick it up on PS5, Xbox Series S and X, Switch, and PC, and on Extra, September 17th, right now. Dead Rising Deluxe, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC.
I don't know if you did that on purpose, but you
No.
purposely didn't say the word remaster.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Speak of another remaster.
Whoops. And people really love that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Broken Sword, Shadows of the Templars, Reforged on PS5 and PC, September 19th. Hey, Anotria, the last song on PS5 and PC. Kyle worked on that game, but I can't say anything more. Was I allowed to say that?
Yeah, I've worked on it. I can't talk about it. It's really cool that a game I've worked on is launching.
It's cool. I'm so proud of him. I'm so proud. Look at my beautiful boy, man. Look at him.
Hey.
Launching big old games like Anotria, the last song. Go buy it. Go tell him Kyle Stevenson sent him.
Don't do that.
Oh, wait, right. Buy it if you're interested.
If you like a Souls-like game based in Italian folklore, there you go.
Don't tell him we sent you. Into the Radius on PSVR 2 on September 19th. Matchbox Driving Adventures on PS5, PS4, September 20th. The Karate Kid. Street Rumble, PS5 and PS4, September 20th. And Anna Arcade, Anna Arcade, PS5, PS4, September 13th.
Is that like a play on Anarcade?
Perhaps. Perhaps.
I don't know if I like
I'm not much of one. Yes. I don't like their symbol. It's aggressive. Don't like the A and the graffiti. Don't like it. All right, Kyle. It's time for the last segment of the show, but our favorite segment, where you get to send in your questions. We get to answer them, whether it's about the topics at hand or not. It is time for the Sony Pony Express.
Yeehaw! Sertonus writes in, yippee-ki-yay, gents. Question for the Sony Pony Express. Yeehaw. Given the news last week of another round of layoffs at Xbox, communicated by quote-unquote real gamer Uncle Phil via a memo, it becomes clearer and clearer that this man's quote-unquote vision has personified by Game Pass. Oh boy, was never more than a pyramid scheme. Jesus Christ! With new subscribers subsidizing the earlier ones, which got exposed when there were no new subscribers left. No, really, this is literally how MLMs try to make money. What is MLMs?
I don't know. That sounds like something
that sounds like something
John Oliver is about to talk about. Let's figure it out.
I don't know. I thought that was something you find on the Black and Orange website. But have we considered that maybe this strategy will be harmful to Sony after all? The decimation of Xbox has brought back arrogant Sony a $700 digital PS Pro with 3 clown emojis. Which might lead to another
multi-level marketing. There you go.
There we go. Which might lead to another down cycle next generation and a chance for computer gaming to finally take over the crown. I love my PS5, but with the lack of first-party games, I've been catching up on the backlog, Midnight Suns, Cult of the Lamb, Disco Elysium, and I'm playing them on my PS4 so I can lay in bed while I play them. So the notion that they are now overpricing their half-staff upgrades this much seems even more ridiculous and short-sighted. As always, keep up the good work, and let's keep gooning to the moon and back.
Ooh.
Was there a question in there, or were you just ranting?
I think he was just ranting too.
Oh, is there a chance for computer gaming to take over the crown? No.
I mean, I think it already kind of has, if I'm not mistaken. The size of the pie. Here we go. Let me see. Look at gaming.
Stay out of Sertonus's way, by the way. Coming
Yeah,
out
right?
after everybody.
This guy's coming for the crown. Jesus Christmas. Yeah. No, I think so. I'm looking at it right here. So PC gaming's market share is 19%, consoles is 27%. Yeah, no, I mean, and mobile gaming is the giant with 53% of the market share. Consoles are going to be different, guys. They have to differentiate themselves from what they used to be. Is arrogant Sony back? I think you can make that claim. I wouldn't argue with you if you thought it was. Um, but I would say that when you take a look at like, Jeff Gordon's prediction of the Xbox is going to be the next Xbox, you're going to have a hybrid handheld system, which sounds dope as hell. And you're going to have like this holy crap, monster of a console, but it's going to be around $700-800. Consoles are going to start looking different, and they're not subsidizing their price to get you in because they already know they have you in. Consoles' main strength for a very long time used to be its low barrier to entry. You could talk about the SKUs all you want, like I did last week, but it used to be the barrier to entry, right? You could build a good old fancy PC for, sub $1,000 or up, or you could go and buy yourself a $300-400 machine. That used to suffice for a very long time. I would say since really mid 2000s, but really I think 2010s, it's started to really ramp up. And now you're starting to see it. The barrier to entry is not with consoles. It's with phones. That's why you're seeing publishers going, hey, listen, there's already billions of people that own smartphones, right? How do we get our games on there? That's the barrier to entry market. It's your Fire Sticks. It's your tablets. It's your Lenovo, your mom's Lenovo laptop. Can it run Lethal Company? Can it run Fortnite? Can it run Palworld? Like, those are the questions that gamers are asking. So the barrier to entry is not with the console as where it once was. So how do you make yourself different when you have people that are playing on experiences that, yes, are subpar to you, but they're playing them in mass with these lower end rigs, right? That's what Xbox and PlayStation are trying to figure out. PlayStation still wants to be a closed ecosystem. It doesn't want Steam in, doesn't want Epic Games in their little mini computers at this point. So how do they make it different? And how do they take things like DSSL and put it into their hardware to make it run better, to make it look better, to make it somewhat on par to what they can do? They make their own, right? You make experiences on your controller, like the haptic feedback, the adaptive triggers, to make you more immersed. Maybe you try to make, so many of these cinematic games that you cannot turn away from them. That's what PlayStation's done. Nintendo, similar route, right? Listen, is Nintendo's hardware great? And is their next bit of hardware going to be all too powerful? Absolutely not. But Nintendo has the IP that you will buy that console on, or buy that console for. That's PlayStation and Nintendo's gimmick. And we'll see if that shakes out for them. So I think they've traded barrier to entry for premium, and we'll see if that bet pays off with the PlayStation 5 Pro, but really with the PS6. That's been my TED Talk. Thank you all so much for coming out. I want to just thank, where's the patrons we could get in here? Kyle, any thoughts? I'm sorry, you really let me have at it, man.
I have nothing to say intelligently about this, so...
Did I nail it?
Man, these eyeballs are real dumb on this controller, the more I look at it.
What? Listen, if you look at them too hard, you're like, are these nipples? Are these little nips on here? But like, if you at first glance, you're like, that's a little Astro Bot. And if you shake him around and go, it's like, that's Astro Bot.
I kind of wish they would make the one with like the graffiti skin like in the game.
Ooh,
I wish that was a real one.
I like that.
I would buy that in a heartbeat.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what's happening to the console market. They're going to try to sell you on the Apple-esque or even like Samsung-esque of like, this is some quality stuff. Yeah, you could go to your Acer or whatever, and like, we'll fool you by telling you that building a PC is really hard and that drivers suck. And we'll give you this premium solution that you don't even have to think about. That's what they're going to try to get you on.
Amen.
Ooh.
Cowboy Danger D writes in, I'd love to see what kind of numbers Square puts up for expectations. Like, when is the last time a game met any of their expectations?
Sorry, this should have been at the Square Enix question.
Okay. The next one should have been up there anyway, but it's fine. I don't know. What game has met their expectations?
I'll answer that question with a question, Cowboy Danger D. What's the game that's gonna meet their expectations?
That's
Is it
fair.
Kingdom Hearts? Is it Kingdom Hearts?
No,
No. Yeah.
they probably have way higher of an expectation on that one than
Mm-mm.
Final Fantasy.
Mm-mm. All right.
Let's
Get
in
into this one.
with the final question of the Sony Pony Express. Yeah. Greetings,
Yeah.
gents. We've seen a series of financial challenges in the gaming industry recently. Ubisoft's stock price has fallen to a near 10-year low. Square Enix admitted that Final Fantasy XVI and VII Rebirth failed to meet profit expectations, and Sony abruptly pulled its new shooter Concord offline after just a few days due to poor sales. Are these isolated incidents, or do they point to a broader trend of AAA games struggling financially? What factors might be contributing to these underperformances, and how might publishers need to adapt their strategies for big budget releases going forward?
Here's one, and it kind of echoes to the previous question a few back, but stop making so many big budget IP that if they fall, your whole quarter goes to shit.
Mm.
You're gonna have to experiment more, but with lower budget things. Do what Sony's doing with Team Asobi here. Look at the games that they've tasked them with, and then like Playroom takes off, and they're like, oh shit, people are like, they said they would buy one of these, like one of these games. Let's go see that. And I bet they are pleasantly pleased with what they saw with Astro Bot, or what they've been seeing with Astro Bot. And I bet we're going to see more Team Asobi games over time get a little bigger and a little bit more broader. But you have to start at a bottom, and you have to have realistic expectations set for them at the rip. And I think a lot of these big publishers thought, oh, we'll partner with Marvel to get an Iron Man game. And then Disney's like, oh, yes. And the fee for that is going to be something exorbitant. And now you're seeing a lot of big publishers going, like EA, I bet they love Jedi for what they do for their, for money, but like also what they do for their reputation, and for their portfolio. But I bet they want to end that because the price to own a Star Wars is maybe a little bit overpriced at this point in time. So focus on creating, focus on growing, do what Capcom's doing. Actually, is probably the best advice. Right? Like, ask your audience, literally, hey guys, what do you want? Start making smaller games. Growing them. That's what you do.
Although Exo Primal hasn't done well for him.
Yeah, but like I think you take a look at like what they've done with like the Resident Evil series, growing that back up, Monster Hunter Wilds. I would like to see what Kanitsugami's done, but like for the most part, you're right. There's some exceptions with like Exo Primal may or may not be. They're not saying anything about it, but like I bet you they're happy with the Dragon's Dogma numbers.
Oh yeah, I forgot Dragon's Dogma was this year.
Don't worry, I did too. ADHD was like, you're forgetting one. Yeah.
Yeah, I got
Kyle,
nothing. I got nothing to add. You're crushing it with these TED Talks at the end of the show.
Thank you.
I'm also getting distracted. Someone keeps joining the dock and leaving again. I'm like, who has access to the dock?
Apparently, an anonymous lemur.
Huh.
Okay. Well, lemur, you're on notice. Okay.
I'm watching you.
And if you are a person and not just maybe one of my tabs, write boobs. If you're a real person, write boobs.
Oh God, the doc is talking to us.
Question. Yeah. Let's see. I think maybe it's become self-aware.
Uh-oh.
Anyway, Kyle, that's been it for the Trophy Room this week. Great show as always. But you have something to plug, so I'm going to let you plug away, my friend.
If you're listening to this on
Hey, Kyle, plug those holes that need to be plugging. They need to be plugged.
I'm plugging my nose. If you're listening, if you're listening to this on Thursday, September 19th, today is the day of the 6-1 Indie Showcase Fall Edition. live at 11:50 a.m. Eastern Time for the PD's Play Now pre-show. 12 p.m. Eastern is the main show. I should know this number. 45 indies, 75 minutes.
Oh, wow.
It's going to be a jam-packed show. You can catch it on 61indie.com or our YouTube channel, 61indie, or you can go to IGN's YouTube channel and watch the co-stream on their end.
Beautiful.
We've got 20 developer interviews that will be live after the showcase.
Beautiful.
Plenty of previews on the site. And let me check.
As you said that, the lemur left, but they didn't write boobs.
Right? So I'm glad I'm not the only one that's like, what's happening here?
Yeah. Yeah.
Very strange.
Who's in these notes?
Very strange. I want to make sure.
Why would
that
you
I'm
write
not,
something silly?
I'm not going to say anything that shouldn't be said yet.
Yeah.
But there's a really cool thing that people have asked for a whole lot. Yes, okay, it's been announced. There's also going to be a Steam event, so every game that we show will be a part of it, as well as showcase alums that may or may not be on sale on Steam. So go please check them out and wishlist the games. Even if you don't play on Steam, just wishlist them. It helps them a ton, especially the ones you think are cool.
Yeah. And there's a link to that in the chat right now.
Thank you, Joe.
Look at me, I could produce.
And then I'm Mr. Case at pretty much everywhere.
Yeah. Listen, enough for me. You know where I am. I'm at the bad place. I'm also at the good place too, at Mr._Badbit on Threads, Mr. Badbit on the bad place. You can follow me over on, you can follow this show over on PS Trophy Room on Twitter. You can follow this show over on patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. If you like what you heard, please, please, please help support an indie outlet like us, the Trophy Room. Head on over to patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. Get hundreds of bonus hours of content. And it's a fun time each and every week where we get to do these little post shows. And yeah, rate us 5 stars on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever pods are caught. You can find us there. And please hit like, share, subscribe on YouTube. Because of the new YouTube program, it helps promote channels under 500,000. And guess what? We're one of those channels. So go hit that like button. It's really going to help us out. So with all that said, with all that out of the way, everybody, keep your wits about you, keep hunting, and keep playing PlayStation. See you guys.
Bye. I love you. So does Jiminy. All right, we're off. Hey, we had 40 people at one time.